Thank you guys for all coming in. This is kind of organized by Panda and I, mostly on Panda's side, as I literally moved today. The Siege podcast is I was kind of aware or brought to in the past because I actually wasn't playing quite yet when they happened. Was basically everyone got a bit of time to talk about their side of Siege, what they thought of Siege, maybe improvements or things along that. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give people the floor as we kind of feel, hopefully naturally. Make sure people don't totally take the entire spotlight, and I'm going to act more of a neutral party. But if you want to talk about, like, I guess don't make it a shit flinging storm, but just talking about the Siege fight tonight in general. I guess to everyone in here was in the Medaya fight, but I guess just to start off with, what was your guys' overall thoughts?
That was a banger ass fight, bro. That shit was juiced. I had a lot of fun.
I liked it.
It was actually a good fight, despite you know.
The servers were the worst part of that fight by far.
I didn't think the servers would be bad.
Well, honestly, considering how many guilds and how many people were there, the servers I actually felt like held up pretty well.
Compared to the 6v6 or 5v5 on Valencia like a month back, I would agree. If we're comparing it to that, it's still kind of frustrating, but it's definitely better.
There was times when we were at Barcode's base that it was us, Corrupt, Barcode, Digi, and EQ, and it would get really laggy, like it was bad. I know some of you guys on the other node might not have felt it, but I'm pretty sure Johnny can speak for Corrupt side when he said it was pretty bad.
There was a good amount of times where we would be like in a 2v1 situation or in a vice versa where it's a 1v2 situation. If we were getting some good chunk lag, especially around what is it up in that little castle spot? I always forget the name.
Sarma Outpost?
Yeah. Karma. Yeah. It was around there, especially when it'd be a ton of guilds, it would chunk a good amount of the time. It wasn't all war. I think there was only like a 30-second span where I was getting the please try again error, and that was like maybe 30 seconds. So I'm not too mad for a 4v4 in terms of lag. So it ended with Digi being in a stalemate of course, or Digi's keeping the castle because it was a stalemate. Barcode got to 10%, if I recall correctly. And I think Digi was brought down to like 70% or so.
Bro, guys, how do I turn on my Discord over there?
From your guys' side,
they don't know how to do
you
that?
guys were mostly on BC for a lot of the war, weren't you?
Yeah, we hopped around a lot. CC was like jumping between guilds to try to like pull pressure off of some of the other guilds, so it was pretty wild. Yeah, it was at the beginning of the fight. We were on defense at the beginning because Cho, some stuff had happened at Tax Cart, so Cho was coming to hit us like for siege and shit. So we kind of like died and we didn't get to get anything set up before war. You know, like to plant all the traps and everything, get everybody set up. So we had to start base out at like defense, and when we did that, I think it was Reforged and BC that came to hit us, and it was pretty good. We were able to hold them and kind of like start getting ready to move out and move offensive pressure out. It was pretty good. It took us a little bit. We had like a little bit of a slower start, but it wasn't bad. And then we went offensive and we started jumping between guilds to try to like pull pressure off and do different shit. I think our team, it was the teams were Corrupt, CC, Fate, and Muted or Vented. I'm sorry, Menace.
Menace. Yeah.
They keep changing the name. I keep trying to like keep up with it. And then on the enemy team, it was Reforged, Digi, BC, and EQ. I think the teams were pretty evenly like pretty even across the board. I don't think any other team was like stronger than the other one. But it was pretty good though. Like I said, we were jumping between bases trying to pull pressure off, and it was good. It's pretty hard now with the way that the siege is set up to deal damage, because you get backdoored by so many other guilds because everybody builds so close to each other, so it's hard to like get up pressure up there. But yeah, we were able to get Barcode down pretty low with Corrupt, and it was good. The other guilds just did a good job at screening with them, you know. And of course with the new repair material, you just went back up to 100%.
I understand. It just doesn't.
I don't know, Blue. What's your? Oh, good.
I was just about to ask if anyone had. I hate the new repair materials. They're ridiculous.
Material just needs to go.
That makes the fight like I don't know. They fucking went down from like what 10% to like 70 in like a minute, something like that. Minute. So it's a bit ridiculous right now, honestly.
As soon as you lose flag pressure, they get everything back up like instantly, like full base, back up to 100%.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
the addition of that is just so bad right now, like for the game. Like yeah, it's cool that there's something like that in the game, but dude, it's ridiculous. Like
it's really easy to get to.
So strong.
Blue, how was your perspective of the siege?
I actually felt like they were man, I can't see the podcast channel. I'm trying to fucking fix this on my stream. I actually felt like the teams were definitely stacked the other way. I felt like that with Digital in the castle, it makes them weaker and like more even with Corrupt, and I feel like Crawling is pretty significantly stronger than Barcode, right? I think that's fair to say. And then you've got EQ versus Menace. Menace is an extremely strong guild, and so like at best, those two guilds are going equal, but I would say that Menace probably edges them out a little bit. And then you have Reforged versus Fate, which is like, you know, I feel like Reforged probably is a little bit stronger than Fate, but like at the end of the day, Fate and Reforged were kind of just extra. Well, we were supposed to be just extra, but then I felt like Reforged really clutched it up because I felt like Barcode got down to 15%, and we were defending Castle against Menace. I sent 2 platoons, Flex, and my entire cannon team, like in serial. First, I sent my Flex team. We were defending Castle. First, I sent Flex. Flex wasn't enough to help Barcode. Then I sent platoon 4. That was not enough. Then I sent platoon 3. That was still not enough. Then I sent the cannon team. That was 5 extra people, and it was just barely enough. Barcode was at 15%. And all my guys were doing were just walking around trying to kill cannons and flags and stuff, while Digi and EQ desperately screamed, and our platoons 1 and 2 held the castle against Menace, and it worked. So like I really do feel that Reforged kind of clutched it up there. But not that any other guild played bad, but I really do feel like we overperformed tonight for sure, at least in my opinion. But it was a great fight from everybody. I think everybody did great.
I'm kind of curious how many people every guild brought. Like, I'm really curious if it was like, you know, every guild brought 100 or near cap.
I believe everybody was over 90 or at cap. Yeah, like I don't think anybody had less than 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely felt like that.
Might not have had 100 was Fate. What were you guys at, Doc?
So midway through, we hit 100. Like once war was like on for like an hour, we hit 100. So
you guys started with though like 90, no? 90, 91 or something?
Yeah, we started with like 90, 91 around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the guilds I don't think are having a numbers issue. It definitely wasn't a numbers issue. It was good.
That's what made the fight good, bro. That's what made the fight fucking awesome.
I didn't see everyone's ball at some point, so I was kind of curious.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just really cool to take a guild that had never defended a castle before and on the fly, literally teach them how to defend a castle and have them execute. It's the first time I've ever seen that. I've never seen another guild do that before. It wasn't even our castle, bro. It was sick. It was a lot of fun.
Alright, I saw a funny clip with Zane. Blue, you might like it, because they're talking about the flagging, and he's just malding about Crawling not unflagging because you guys were defending it. Because like,
are you talking
Crawling
about
can't unflag
here?
I
like
think you probably do.
Yeah,
he was malding so hard. I was like, bro, they can't unflag because Reforge is just there. Reforge is just going to kill everyone.
Cancer. You can't unflag and you can't stay flagged. It's like
it was giggling so hard, man.
We weren't trying to kill him. It just happened, you know.
It's just the way it is because you can't unflag and you can't flag, so you're stuck in a like cycle of just you're crossfiring each other.
Catch 22, baby. That's what I was banking on.
It was good. That was a good fight. I thought it was really good.
Excellent fight. Yeah. No, I felt like every team, like we had to hard. I do feel like the teams were definitely skewed towards the Corrupt Crawling side, just because again they were on offense the whole fucking time, bro. We basically never had anyone within a kill, like without having to like basically triple CTG Corrupt, like, and it wasn't even close, bro. They didn't even get remotely low. We just couldn't get offensive pressure down. We were basically playing defense as a team the whole time. It was a very difficult fight to play.
I definitely won't lie though. Like, I think the Castle Guild has a huge advantage just because you can't CTG Castle. It's like it's hard to push it because they have the respawn points, right?
You never have to flag
defense. Castle Guild has
for it because everyone gets the flag proxy.
Castle Flag does not have an advantage. The only reason Castle Guild would have an advantage is if you tried to push the fucking castle. But the key to those team fights is to not push the castle. You take the gates and then you just walk away from the castle. And then at any point,
I mean, it's pretty obvious what you did, right?
Yeah.
Don't you just put your strongest non-castle guild out front and you put the two shitters, EQ and Reforge, near castle, and Digi just runs bridge over and over and over and over? Like that's the fight, right? That's how you structure, which is what you did, because that's what you need to do to hold. Like I don't
I don't know if there's anybody that would agree that a guild is stronger when they're in castle on a team fight like that. I like anyone that has a brain is not going to agree with that.
Well, because the whole point of it, right, is the castle guild doesn't.
The whole point is they don't have to win; they just have to hold.
Stalemate. Yep.
They have to hold 2 hours offense, and then 3.
Like, bro, but Digi was on offense though. It wasn't even Digi. Like Digi
Digi was walking around Sarma and Barcode's base 90% of the war.
I know, but that to me that's offense. See, because Reforged is the one pushing you guys out of fucking out of the castle,
they don't have to kill us, right? They just have to hold. Their whole deal was they just have to hold the bases. They don't actually have to kill anybody. Like castle guilds only have to defend, right? Huh?
Well, I mean, we were trying, but like again, the teams are stacked, man. Like, what do you want us to do?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Well, I don't know about the stacked teams, but I'm saying I don't disagree with the fact that they just don't have to do anything but just sit there and defend, right? So like, there's no win con for them, while for the other team there's a win con.
I mean, you say that they sit there and defend, but Digi had to go out and screen. I would not as like. Is that team defense? Sure, but when you say defend a castle, it implies that Digital is just sitting in the castle defending the castle, which is not what they did.
Every guild that, I don't know, maybe this is like from back in the day Drift when it was like more siege guilds, but everyone knew you could sack some shit at castle to go help your allies over and over, right? Because you just rebuild it. Like that's like the meta. That's always been the meta in a team fight.
Because you can't get CTG'd at castle, right? Like that's huge.
Like in Calpheon, I'm always fine giving up first gate if it means keeping a guild live for another 30-45 minutes there, right? Because you like, as long as I keep roofs, I'm fine in Calpheon. Gate doesn't really matter.
Crazy.
So hearing part of it from our back end comm, at one point in the war, for a good portion of the war, was Menace just spawning inside the castle trying to hold Digi there. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, it's literally just trying to keep Digi there, and they sacked their base on one of them. I think we pretty much like full gutted them outside of like the 2 watches and the tower and the supply depot up there, but they're pretty much full gutted out of that. And then they spawned back and just pushed us all the way back to outer, and then held us at outer for the rest of the time. And then it was just after that it was fighting a plat or 2 of Digi and then reforged with it. But
okay, I'm just like,
maybe it was probably just Digi flexing their defense team in all honesty, but
I would say in
don't
some
want to give
instances,
us any credit then. That's fine.
I mean, that's why I said you guys were there too, but
I think
pushing through Darkroom and then
the castle is definitely better. But I think for the one of the only instances, or at least in maybe this specific fight, the number 1 seed being in the castle is going to be somewhat of a hindrance, because what this means is that Menace can just infinite spawn, or any guild could infinite spawn within the castle, and if Digi tries to go on offense, or to screen, whatever you want to call it, then what's going to happen is they just die. And so this puts them permanently in their base, and this could be a guild that is significantly weaker, holding them back constantly. And then if you look at the lineup right there, right? So let's say Menace is like taking out Digi the entire time. So now it's Corrupt, Fate, CC versus BC, EQ, and Reforged. And I think on paper, at the minimum, the Corrupt team should win that fairly handedly, I would say.
I would say
you would probably want to put
Right, but
on Barcode.
But here's the thing, right? Is that Digi isn't staying back, right? Mm-hmm. That's the problem, right? Digi didn't stay back. Digi kept like a flex team back, and then when they really felt like they needed to get Ricos up, they did 1 spawn, pushed them out, and then rode out again, right? That's not keeping them back. So Digi had a lot of time out of castle.
+2 on top of it, you guys aren't taking this into a factor, right? You think about it, a guild defending castle, right? All they have to do is tell one of their allies, you guys are going to sit in here, flag up when you die, respawn at castle, right? So then the ally guilds that have to actually kill the castle guild, they can't unflag because they're dealing with it. So then they end up killing their own allies at the same time too, and it turns into a giant ass free-for-all.
Yeah. So you shouldn't focus on the castle. You shouldn't go into the castle. The only losing play is to go to the castle here.
Yeah, right. But you're contradicting yourself, right? We didn't focus on the castle.
Yeah, you did. Like, Menace being in the castle the entire fucking siege fucked you guys. Because you essentially have Menace squaring off with Reforged, which is a mismatch. And they're hopelessly pushing into us. They're never going to be able to take it against the guild that, honestly, in fairness, we had no idea how to defend a castle. I taught my guild on the fly how to defend a castle, and it worked. Menace should not have been pushing the castle at all. They should have been on offense. And the second that we come out to offense, then you can try to backdoor or something. But you don't just sit there and get... Like just fight Reforged the whole time. That was the mismacro.
You like also 100%. Understand, right?
You don't go into the castle.
Unless we are in castle, right? Us.
Corrupt.
Yes, us corrupt. Digi automatically can like hold whoever's in there and screen you on the bridge.
Well, no, not necessarily. But like,
Yeah,
you guys shouldn't be in the castle. You guys shouldn't be in the castle, Vice. You guys shouldn't. Why are you even looking at the castle?
Hold on.
We flagged Peninsula to try to pull you back, and they walked to the bridge to go clear our flag with you after you spawned home.
Hold on for a second. Artie, you were in Menace. When you guys were full spawning within the castle, were you guys keeping Digi's entire ball there, or were you guys just
no,
keeping
it's not even remote. It was mostly just reforged the whole time.
It was like a flex and a defense team. I think is pretty much all that's there.
Yeah,
most
the
time.
people in the structures, and then some flex, and then all of reforged just held them. Yeah,
because I think the ally guild screening, like reforged screening within the base, forcing people to stay flagged and having a free for all, does come into effect if there are multiple guilds pushing. But if it's only Menace within the castle, then that actually flips it, or I guess it would somewhat do it, where now Digi and Reforged can hit each other, but it doesn't matter for Menace because Menace is like, okay, the two guilds that are here, I should be fighting. And I feel like, at least, maybe I might be wrong on this, that Menace should be able to take on Reforged and a
defense team.
Did you flex? Did you guys have your whole ball there already, or some of the ball, or what's your kind of opinions on
for the most part? I think most of our ball was there outside of Flex. Like Flex wasn't with us. I think they're killing cannons off of Fate for the most part. Essentially, it was like at a point there we sent Plats back to repair gear and then trying to get back because like we were there so long, people's gears just breaking, so we had to send Plats at a time to go back. But for the most part,
it's
yeah, it was
stalemated.
Plus, too, you guys also have to realize they're fighting Hwacha as well. Like, the Hwacha's hitting them. There's a bunch of equipment that's hitting them that's not hitting the allies. It's specifically targeting them.
So, somebody just in chat, I'm just trying to, like, clarify a lot of things. I'm trying to stay neutral on this. Somebody said that Crawling was in the base a lot. Quansi, I assume they were in Nekohana, which is part of the Fate Alliance, I think. Am I wrong on that? Is that where Quansi is right now? But
the guild in the castle has an advantage.
Okay.
They can go on offense better.
But what's the topic?
Was so I guess even in the C-Zane clip, Crawling was pushing the castle. Why was Crawling pushing the castle?
Oh, that was
why was Crawling pushing the castle, boys?
I think.
No, we pushed the castle a couple times. So the reason we pushed the castle was because Digi's out roaming around. So we'd push it, clear everybody in the castle, and then Digi would come back and we would go and flip the fight and hit somebody else.
I don't remember clearing anyone in the castle though. That's the problem. That's the part where you lost me there. You would come to the castle and get cleared by Reforged.
The ultimate macro fuck up on our side is clearly we should have just been in castle because you're probably never clearing corrupt in castle. So if we stay there, Digi has to honor that, and we just let our allies 3v3 and we probably win. That was on us, according to you. CC's stronger than Barcode. Vint is probably stronger than EQ or equal, and Fate and you are a wash, right? So like, that's on us. We screwed that up. We should have just been in castle because we probably hold Digi there at the minimum. We probably get farmed doing it. Don't disagree that. But like, at least they're gonna stay there.
You guys are so focused on this whole castle thing. Just don't. Once you take the second gate, stop going to the castle.
They have to die, brother. We're on a clock.
Like, no, but you have 3 hours. Can you not win this fight in 3 hours? Can you not win this fight in 3 hours? Like, you could literally have sent your weakest guild. You could have sent Fate to the castle instead of Menace. Instead, you have Menace in the castle the whole time. Why do you have? Why is Fate not like pushing us in the castle?
Fate was holding down EQ with no problem. Fate was holding down EQ with no problem.
Oh, were they though?
Yeah.
Were they though?
We did have EQ at 50%.
I don't feel like they were.
EQ.
I don't know. I got EQ people in my chat telling me that is not what happened.
That is what happened.
I'm gonna, again, for EQ, I know you guys have been a little bit hesitant with the Friday podcast, but for this podcast I am gonna try to keep it semi-civil.
All right.
So if you guys want to send a person in, that'd be awesome, just for like them. That's more on them, not so much in here. You guys have been fine so far.
I was gonna say, I don't think anybody's getting like particularly mad. We're just
no. I wanted to like tell them because this is like new stuff, right? And that's the reason why they hadn't been in that. So
what up, Blue Sky? How you doing?
With like backing to that, EQ was on us a lot of the war, and us I mean corrupt. I would say, I think because our flex team, because I was the flex lead when I joined a little bit late today,
Guys, go give Blue Sky a follow. Another BDS
basically
streamer.
just like peeling
Super fun to
off
watch.
of
Very
EQ
entertaining.
off of her base, and Fate would hit them a good amount of times, or would have to peel them off of Menace the one time. But it was like, I don't know, maybe this is
We had a
like
blast at Siege,
how
big
I
man.
feel it should be. But if EQ is putting a flag at our base, don't go to the flag unless you're way superior to them. Just go hit their base. Just hit their base over and over and over. And it's like, if
No, it
they
doesn't
continue
work quite-
to...
It doesn't quite work like that in Siege because of how the walls and stuff work. You could get to EQ's base and theoretically they could just wipe and then spawn up before you actually have a hole or anything or get anything productive done. And then they can wipe, like, clearing you and then just go back to their flag again. So, like, it's not quite that simple.
So I think the
Siege,
difference
anyway.
between
You're not wrong in a no one.
Fate and EQ is if Fate puts, I would say, a little bit of a, not a distant flag, but not a BM like one render flag, in a good position near EQ's base, like on any of the top points, assuming that Digi or something like that doesn't peel for it, like if we have Corrupt and Castle keeping Digi there, CC's on BC, and Menace is attacking Reforged, Fate should be able to fairly hold EQ in their base, I feel like, because Fate has a good position, they have a flag to respawn at, and they don't have to push the walls or anything like that. They can just cannon, they can ballista, they can slow siege it. But I guess, what's your opinion on that, Blue? You seem very vocal on it.
I think that if Fate tries to push EQ, they're gonna get wiped off because I feel like the second EQ comes back to base, they just push the flag off, the flag dies, and then EQ goes back to offense again. I felt like the play for the enemy guild or the enemy team was to just, instead of having Menace in the castle versus Reforged just getting farmed on repeat for no reason, they should have just put Fate in there and let us skirmish each other, and then Barcode definitely dies because Barcode gets to 15% with Menace in the castle for some reason. If Menace is on offense instead of Fate, and Fate is the one just low-key trying to push Digi in the castle, but really just kind of keeping Reforged back away from the fucking fight. It's a win. You guys just mismacroed this. This was, like, Menace being in the castle was a complete mistake. And that's why you guys lost. You guys should have won. 100%. Absolutely should have won.
Should have won when Barcode was under 10%. I don't know.
Absolutely. No, absolutely you should have.
Yeah, but the repair materials now stop that. The second you lose flag pressure,
I mean, so I'm just like, because I never got to see Barcode's base. We were in castle the entire time. Like, I just don't know how they got walls back up.
So what happened is what you don't know is that Digi,
Digi had a flag in Sarma.
Reforged, EQ, and BC, all four guilds pushed all cannons and all flags on Barcode's base.
Should have happened
that's how
from
they
the
were able to
beginning.
rebuild.
Yeah, like we went in and we sacked our flag at Sarma, right? Digi saw that we went into Barcode, so they like went and killed the flag in Sarma. So we got them down from, like, I don't know, crawling push. They got them down to like 35. We got them down to 10, and then Digi cleared all flags. Basically, just ran circles around their base with the other guilds. Like, we can't penetrate 3 guilds there.
Yeah, that's when Digi sacked their base on.
And back end, I wish you would have asked us to put CTG. This is like from my perspective.
Oh, we should have quad CTG'd in the base. We fucked up too. We CTG'd out of the base because we were trying to honor the no iframe shit. But we really should have just, even no iframe, spawned up, PA'd at base and taken it in the base. Like, I agree.
I mean, like, because we had SOB, we could have just SOB'd it on iframed it.
Yeah.
CTG'd them.
That's when Digi sacked the castle, but this goes back to, like, you can afford to sack the castle, right? And you don't really hurt.
They had already sacked the castle. They already had both gates down at that point,
at that
bro.
point-
Sacking the
at that point,
castle means
No,
your
wait.
gates are down, bro.
Yeah.
When
No, no,
when
no.
Digi, so when you guys were at Sarma, Digi sacked their base to keep on Barcode because like
Yeah,
their,
I'm aware.
their
That's what we
Digi
told
base
them
was
to.
pretty much full stripped.
No, this is when Reforged pushed us at our flag and cannons.
Yeah, so all we had to really do was, like, I just kept a very minimal amount of people. Yes, Digi was bleeding, but we were using Digi's base as basically buffer to make sure that we actually killed Barcode. But again, if Menace is not in the fucking castle, then we're fine. If the call for Menace to come to the castle, that's the L.
You got a lot of hatred toward Menace, bro.
I'm not saying I'm hating on him. I'm
Dog, did
saying
we
that
ever lose
no.
pressure
That's not hate
outside
on
Digi
Menace. Let's
clearing
back up.
flag?
That's not hate on Menace. That's hate on whoever the fuck is macroing your fight, big dog. You
I think it was literally only when
mismacroed it.
Barcode flagged us that we lost pressure on EQ, and then when Digi came to clear house, because whenever you guys would suicide to clear out ISO flag, we always had another one down though. Like, you would clear it, and then we would have another one down immediately. It wasn't until Digi like screen that we lost like pressure on EQ.
Once
from
Digi
ISO
came to our
side.
base, once Barcode came to our base, that was the only time.
Yeah, there's
pretty much.
Like I was
when I
very
say
pleasantly
sector-based,
surprised
I'm
with ISO.
I don't
when
know
I say
why.
sector based, I'm not talking about gates, by the way. Either they sacked everything, like flame towers,
No,
supply depot, recubs, everything.
We sacked it. Okay, because Reforged was there, and we were communicating with Digital, and we were just like letting them slow bleed while Reforged shunted more and more pressure. Because I sent almost 3 full platoons to help Barcode by the end of it. And yes, only 2 platoons could not hold Menace back, but it was just barely enough pressure that our like hodgepodge like group of like 50 or 60 people were able to basically backdoor all of the cannons and all of the flags around Barcode, and then Digi screening and EQ screening did the rest. And Barcode got rebuilt. I don't know who called to pull off a Barcode on your team, but that was also bad. Like the CTG should have happened. Barcode dies. Menace not in the castle. Barcode dies. Like you guys should have won this. This is an 80-20 fight. You guys absolutely should have won this. It's your own fault that you guys didn't win it, to be honest with you. Just 100% a mismatch round.
80-20?
80-20.
Damn, that much of a difference, bro?
Absolutely. Are you telling me crawling is equal?
I think you are.
Well, unless you're admitting that crawling...
you are on capped, where we can't use gear. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, unless you're admitting that crawling is just not as, maybe not as strong as we think.
We're shit. We're number 4. Agreed. Corrupt
Honestly,
sucks.
we're D tier according to Johnny's fucking tier list. Reforged is fucking D tier. So like,
yeah, but how many of these guilds 1v1 like show as much as PMA does? I feel like PMA's 1v1 show more than everyone here combined in the past like 2 months. You know what that does to someone's mental, bro? Oh boy, can't wait to do my Ventus 1v1. Oh, Cho's on node. I'm very sad.
I mean, I think you're like way overestimating differences on capped, right? Like we wipe Barcode, but it's not like we just full blue 100 just fucking run them over, right? I don't think crawling every time just full blues run them over. It's not a steamroll.
You want the screenshot? No, I'm kidding.
No, like, dude, new maps too, man. There's no way. Like in Siege 2, 4-second res timer with new maps. It's not.
Like when you have other guilds, right? Like you're fighting one guild and you're like, okay, you think you're good, and then all of a sudden you get backdoored by 3 guilds. You're like, yeah, all right, dude, this is ridiculous.
Like and that guild has like 2 pocketed flags. I mean, that's what happened with Fate.
Bro, the copium in this call,
up with multiple pocketed
the actual amount of copium in this call,
put down a
to
new
not
one,
admit
EQ would come down
that they only lost because they're fucking idiots,
15 minutes to actually get any offense pressure off.
Actually,
just from
unreal.
EQ and Barcode dropping
they
by.
Fucked up.
I think I don't know. I think with caps, it's not as
literal
disparity as you think.
Give me a break, bro.
Yeah, the fights are definitely a lot closer on capped, right? Because everybody's closer to a gear score. Yes, comp is a huge part of it, and yes, some gear bleeds through, but it's a lot closer than what you think, honestly.
Oh, fuck, that copium hit was so fucking good. God damn, bro. Honestly, pass that around again. Fuck me, that felt good. Honestly, like that was juice. That was fucking juice. Again,
we can run the same fight back on Valencia or something.
You guys should win. In fairness.
Oh no, it'll be a very different fight.
We don't have to.
It'll be a very different fight, bro.
No, I think we win again. I mean, I think you win. Absolutely. You're supposed to win again. Supposed to win.
See, you take it as a win,
you guys,
right?
How did you get Barcode to 10% and fumble the football on the 5-yard line?
You supported the same statement from earlier, right? Like you guys agreed that all you had to do was defend.
Right, all right, but here's the thing, right? Did anyone on your side going into that fight actually think that anyone was going to walk out with Castle but Digital?
I mean, I was good with it.
Because there's no fucking way that anyone on your side actually thought that you were ever going to win, right? Like someone like you guys, your side was going to clear.
No, we talked about it.
Right.
We were going to lose or stalemate. One of the two.
So that's my whole point.
Because 80-20, very good.
So you don't take no risks at the end of the day. All you got to do is just hold and defend.
We took risks. We CTG corrupt like 3 times.
All of Digi's flags are proxy flags next to EQ at Schultz or Sawsons, right? Like all you guys do is run into Castle at bridge, and you have the most like hard base to hit because Digi's basically there and can handhold, and Barcode is like the frontline guild because they're the strongest of the 3 out of Castle. And they're just going to get perma Digi attention, right?
And I feel like they went out more offensive than any of the guilds, to be honest.
Barcode probably is the most offensive.
Yeah, like EQ, all they have to do is just like be there where a guild is. Like all EQ has to do is match Fate, match Menace, just match somebody. That's all they have to do. Just be somewhere, right? Backdoor, right? They come backdoor us, they backdoor crawling. That's all they have to do. And you guys auto win that fight.
You guys were on offense the entire time. All 4 guilds were basically on offense the entire time. and still
On
couldn't
which
come up with
side?
a
On
W.
your guys' side?
That's not true, man. The amount of times Barcode dropped a flag at like Fate specifically, there's definitely a series at one point where Fate was gutted, like all their structures
Okay,
besides
so for
stick. And...
3 of the 4 guilds were on
Castle,
offense. So
we
3
were
of the 4 guilds were on
corrupt
offense.
Okay, so I think this is something that we keep seeing as well, and I don't know, this is maybe with Fate and Dot, you can give a better idea of what was kind of happening at EQ space, because EQ is saying that you guys weren't making as much as much progress as I said earlier.
It's just not true. We literally had them full gutted at 50% until Digi came to screen, and then Barcode came to screen them too. So
yeah, I also don't understand this, like, where like Digi's never on offense when they have a flag at our base and Skindle knocked the wall down with an Ellie at our base. Like, Digi knocked the hole at our base.
Digi and EQ 2v1'd us at one point.
Yeah. So how is Digi never on offense and Digi's in our base
as well?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand how
For
you
intermittent pushes, we were literally on defense as a team basically the entire fucking time. Every once in a while, we tried to get flags on offense. Every once in a while, we tried to get offensive pressure, and you guys would just sweep it up and then come barreling back to offense again. Like
I would say that's probably the case for Reforged and Barcode, but I know for sure EQ was on offense a majority of the war.
Fate just said they held them in their base, though.
I do disagree.
We did
that
towards the tail end.
Held them in their
was a
base
3-hour
majority of the war, because I think we saw the placement of at least 6 different flags on our base alone. And there was one on Menace where they had to hold Menace back for like 15 minutes. Like, I think EQ doing what they did today performed great. They were holding us back a little bit. We had to keep our flex back. We had to have Fate peel, or they sat on Menace's base and had to pull Menace back. Like, they were doing what they needed to do, as I would say probably the second bottom seed on their team, or bottom seed, whatever you would want to say. They're not top 2.
They burned CTG to tempo back to right, so we had to go in, clear them. They also were smart enough to flag when they CTG'd, so they came right back to our base, knocked a hole in it, so we had to go deal with that. Like, that shit is not them being base locked, right? Which also is not them being like, your guys are perma defense. If they're doing plays like that, you're not perma defense. That's not a defensive thing.
They also had some of the most aggressive flags too, like the corrupt ones up on that like horse stand. Those were really annoying flags to clear out.
Yep.
And like there's another one that I think was over towards Menace on top of that structure. Like,
yeah,
if your range weren't alive the entire time, that flag actually stayed healthy even if a ball was on top of it, just because of where they were placed.
The other thing I was gonna bring up too, the shitty part about the castle guilds is, like, it doesn't matter how well we play, right? You guys are considering, because Digi held castle, that it was a win for you guys, right? But because we didn't kill the castle guild, the person with the most points who actually did a lot of work didn't get to win the region, right? That's the only shitty part. So, like, you guys are considering the stalemate a win when it's really not, though, you know? Because the other guilds were definitely putting in a shit ton of work, you know?
No, it's a win. Oh, we don't have to have the castle for our team to win. That was a hard win for us. That was awesome. Don't take that from us. Our team.
Yeah.
Our team,
if you were to take Digi out of castle and make it a 4v4 with open field bases, it would have been a very different fight, right?
Yeah, we probably win that. Yeah, because Digi's out of the castle then. Yeah.
And you would say that whoever has the most points at the end wins. Doesn't matter.
I think that whoever had the second most points at the end probably should have won, but that's Reforged. So, what would I know?
You guys didn't hit a single base though.
That's right. We still had the second most points. That's fucking crazy.
Did you really? Because it didn't show any points.
I wouldn't say that. So I don't know what the points were at then, but I don't think necessarily that if somebody didn't go on offense that they weren't like an MVP of a team. For example, in the Quint Hill 4v4, the first one that we did with all the big boy guilds, I would say Crawling is arguably one of the MVPs for that, because you guys were just a bulwark for your team. Anytime anyone on your team would get hit, you guys would just peel. I think it was the first or the second one. I think it might have been the second one.
Yeah, that was the second one.
The second one, yeah. Like, you're not hitting anyone, and you're not making any offensive pressure, but what you're doing is allowing your guilds to do so. And in Reforge's case, if no one disagrees, if Reforge is holding back people from pushing Digi's castle, because castle in some ways is a weakness and a strength, it's a dual-bladed sword, I would argue. then it allows Digi to go on offense or to even screen, because Digi can screen for multiple bases way better than Reforged could. And so by playing the lesser role, they were helping Digi allow to achieve the greater role, which is like an MVP in a sort of way. I mean, it's just like cooperation, right? Like everyone has a role.
Awesome.
The first seed, the second seed, the third seed, and the fourth seed all have roles, all have responsibilities and what they should do. Now it's all a matter of, are people actually doing what they should be doing? Like EQ today, holding people in bases and trying to put pressure back, and I think they did pretty all right. Menace was supposed to be holding Digi in. If Digi, I don't know. This is, and
in
maybe
no
you
world
guys
do we.
would be able. I think you guys should be able to push through Reforged and Digi defense. I feel like that's something you should be able to do as Menace with your rankings.
Yep.
They did though. They were taking out structures pretty frequently.
No, they weren't.
So,
oh yeah,
lost the vibe back. No, when we had to send people away, when we had to send people away, they were. But when it was just Reforged and Menace head to head, all of our offense versus all of their offense and their flex,
Lou, you gotta
we were handling them just
bro.
fine.
You out here trying to take all the gloat. This shit crazy, bro. Relax,
no, I'm saying that they couldn't touch Digi's base.
They did though. That's the delusional part, is they did.
But yeah, because we had to send 60 of our fucking 100-man ball away. Like we had to defend Barcode, which honestly, somehow you guys fumbled on the 5-yard line. That's crazy.
Yeah, because 4 guilds hit us. What do you want us to do, bro?
You guys should
like
still
I said,
have killed them.
you take
like
a million as the win. But
yeah,
if it was different, if Digi wasn't in castle, it would have been whatever guild had the most points, right? How you get points is by killing structures and bases. Sorry?
But it wasn't. And honestly, like, if it wasn't, like Digi was in the castle, we got the stalemate, Digi streaked the castle. I don't think anyone on our team was upset that Digital streaked the castle. We were all so happy to have that good of a fight.
You guys are counting it as a win. That's the whole thing.
It is a win. We don't have to take the castle to have a good fight, bro. When the fuck did taking the castle mean, oh man, that's the only way we can have fun is if we win the castle.
It was a win. I'm saying about the win con. Like what?
Oh, we had no win con. We were gonna lose. That was the win con. We were 100% gonna lose. And our win con was trying to stalemate, like because like we tried to go on offense, and as you guys saw, that shit just doesn't work, bro. You guys, the second you guys turn around, it just wiped the flags off. All pressure gets wiped off. That's the end of it. So like, I mean, you guys, everybody played well, but like I feel like you guys fumbled where you shouldn't have. But like I think if we run that back 10 out of 10 times or 8 out of 10 times, you guys win that. And I state as evidence. Barcode got to 10%, and you guys were still fucking up, but you still got Barcode to 10%, right? Even with Menace pushing the castle and Reforged holding them, Barcode still got to 10%. If you guys switch that, boom, they're dead. If you guys CTG Barcode better, boom, they're dead. Like, there's so many different things that you guys could have done better that we're overlooking.
If it's a 3v3, I think we win it, right? Because the clock's a lot different. I only have to kill 2 guilds at a castle, not 3. So you should thank Vicious for getting you in the fight, because that helps you win.
What?
Right? Like if it's a 3v3 there, we take Fate and Reforged out of there.
Okay.
Right? Like I think that's a way different fight.
I think you roll them.
Yeah, right. Because the clock is different. Now, like the more guilds you add into a team fight there, the more buffer Digi has.
So you're saying that Reforged was the difference? That feels good. Thank you.
No, it's a numbers thing. It's a purely math thing. More
Fate had 100, we had 100.
I'm saying numbers of guilds.
Numbers of guilds. Same.
Yeah, but you just agreed that you only had to play defensive and hold for the stalemate for the win. Right.
So we effectively have to. Bro. So in your mind, right? We have a task here. We either have to kill 3 guilds out of castle in under 2 hours, right? Because we should never be in castle, right? So that's assuming we don't get gates, or even if we do get gates off the rip. Right, we have a full 3 hours. We still have to kill 3 guilds out of castle in 3 hours. And so you're saying we shouldn't focus on castle at all. So therefore, we also have to deal with the strongest guild on region roaming in 3 hours. Like the burden for us is a lot higher than the burden for you, right? You could actually sit at base and just spam CTG, and your side would probably never lose that.
Did you just say that the burden for Corrupt is greater than the burden for Reforged, or what are you trying to say here? Because obviously,
I'm saying our side has to do a lot more than your side does to win that fight. That's objectively true, right?
No, not necessarily. Once you take the first 2 gates, you just run down Barcode with 4 guilds. Boom, done.
So
not that hard. It's not that hard.
In places, we couldn't stack guilds on bases. That was a
How
rule
did
in place.
Balanos go? We have a Stella in here. They were on Balanos.
So
Guys are
really
circling.
quick.
yeah.
Yeah, I just want to hear this one. Vipe, you're saying that the burden on our team is a lot greater. Are you saying that because Digi is in Castle? Is that why you're saying that?
Right. Because here's the thing, right? Like, and Digi will 100% do this, right? If they know there's an hour left, right? Both gates are down, and it's just an hour till it ends. Why would they don't even have to leave Castle at that point, right? They're fine sacking Barcode, whatever, because that's still a win in your eyes. So the timer is a lot faster than you think.
3 hours.
Right.
It's the same.
Like Digi side doesn't
Still
have to
3
play
hours.
proactive because
Right.
the potential to make a mistake isn't that great.
Well,
Like
it's not like
Digi's
we
always
weren't
going to
trying
take
to go
like
on
XYZ
offense.
amount of time.
It's not like we weren't trying to go on offense. We tried. It's not like we just like.
Yeah, but
tried
that's
to
the
put,
thing is
like,
like you don't necessarily have to do that. You don't have to commit to offense, right? Like
Because you guys are
I'm not questioning
destroying
your
us.
intent. I'm not questioning your intent. Like, how you win that fight is you literally don't go past like the halfway mark and you just sit around bases running in circles getting kills. Like, that's how you win if you're counting Digi stalemating as your side winning, which I'd agree. Your side won. But to be like, you don't have to do more. Like,
Okay.
bro, imagine that I could just sit and run in circles around a base and get kills. Like, that's so much easier than having to set up flags, coordinate multiple pushes on guild. Like, if you're Digi, you get told where you need to be to go kill people and you do it. That's it. That's not hard for them.
My dick is uncomfortable.
Like, we have to do a lot more on our side to win that fight than your side does. And that's just how
when
the
was
fight's set
Barcode
up.
at 10%, by the way? When was the 10%?
I don't know, like, there's probably 40.
Hour and a half in.
So
Hour
I think
and a
hour
half
and a
in.
half. Yeah, you still clear up node. Yeah, but that's the thing is like if you get someone,
Yeah.
say you like kill, say Barcode dies at like 2 hours 20 minutes in. You think
We still don't win.
that 4v? Do you think we
No,
win that
I
4v3 at that
Absolutely.
time?
If you killed Barcode,
Yeah.
you send what corrupting us to
Yeah,
corrupting
but
us to
we-
Castle,
we
and then
do
crawling
1v1s,
just goes
right?
to Reforge.
Yeah, it's still like 2 1v1s. It takes time. Like the base are tanky.
It still takes time.
It's still gonna take time. Yeah.
Like it doesn't
guys
matter.
would've
Like
won.
we were full blue feeding guilds, but the fucking the walls, bro. The walls are tanky as fuck. It was ridiculous. It was bad. It was really bad.
Do we
But,
have the conquest scores? Does anybody have the conquest scores at the end?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have them. I have them on stream here. I'll post them in the podcast.
You and Fate had about the same, or Menace had the same KD, negative 1100.
They would have won if it didn't lag.
Really quick,
Barcode
well,
munch though. Barcode played well.
Yeah.
Barcode did munch.
I mean, on defense though, it's like
Yeah, no, I
it's
agreed. Right. Their role is to sit and hold pop SOB off cooldown. Like, don't disagree, but they did get a lot of frags.
yeah.
this-
I don't want to take credit away from them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Barcode
they did
was
what they needed
making
to.
Fate base not really fun for the. I think they did 2 or 3 flags, and they were all ego flags, like mid distance.
They pushed
was
us
not-
twice also.
Yeah.
Today I learned the integer 5,957 is actually roughly equivalent to the integer 3,836. That's fucking crazy. Those are roughly the same. Huh. Wait, we had the second most kills on region? That's fucking crazy. Holy shit. Speechless. He's speechless.
Yes, but you have the argument was you went the same amount of negative as Menace there, right? Like
With
and
us
they're-
dealing with
and they're-
Digi.
and you get the benefit of
There you go,
literally
stumble through
just
it.
sitting on a castle roof and casting on second gate spawn, and
You're
you went negative
absolutely right.
1100.
Reforged, the
With-
super experienced castle defense guild that has definitely done it before with a bunch of Tuvala
Yeah, but you
Timmies.
don't have to defend anything,
Absolutely.
though.
All
All
we
you have to
had
do
to
is kill
do
players,
was
though.
stand on
Dude,
top of the fucking
how long
castle
has
walls.
Reforge been around for now? Are you
6
guys
months.
actually 2
6
Valas?
months.
I feel like we got a new
We still have.
generation of.
I mean, shit. We took 580 gear score player yesterday. He was at Siege today. He went 20 and 160. Bro, like it's not like.
At
like,
least he
I- like-
pushed. At least he
That's
pushed.
right,
I was-
baby. He's
That
fucking
like a push
king.
mentality.
We like that guy, bro.
knows- he
He's
knows
a
the
keeper.
double.
He's a keeper.
I
But, like,
need that.
That's our thing. We teach people how to play
laying
the
his
game.
dick on the table.
Yeah, I got shit, bro. We teach people how to play PvP and BDO. It's fun. That's like our whole thing as a guild. So like, it was just really cool. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just gassed up because, we performed really well. That's all. Like, oh man. All right, boys. What happened on Balanos? Does anyone know what happened on Balanos? Was it just free?
I was just about to ask this real quick. Stella, you here?
Stella's here.
Yeah.
She's asleep.
she fell. What was there any fight there, or what happened?
It was pretty much stick guilds. We planted with janitors, and then I guess Vertex down because they're like just a bunch of stick guilds blocking off the
Beecham's
region
absolutely
or
right, man.
something.
Wait, how many sticks?
They're absolutely right.
3 or 4.
Can't you fit like 15 guilds on that siege?
No, they changed a lot of the big systems.
Like
It's really small now, I think. So, I mean, I don't know.
You with the new peg system, how they changed it, 1, 2, the only way you could fit 22 guilds or whatever the fuck it was
Don't worry about it.
is because everybody's strategically placed, right? But if one guild drops and blocks like 4 spots, then you don't get that many guilds down, you know?
And Node War sticks still block spots, right?
I don't believe so.
Or
No.
they fix it.
I think they fixed that, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Can we go back to sunny Serendia? Valinus sucks, bro.
Yeah, I'd
Go
like
back to
Serendia
this-
back.
I will
systems
say
are
that
great.
has been something that I've been asking for constantly. It's like, Balanos.
I don't know.
I think
just
Balanos would be great if they just got rid of the safe zone.
Or just
Yeah.
move
I mean,
it
I
to
think-
Wolf Hills and
Yeah, Wolf Hills would be pretty.
Wolf Hills and Castle or Western Guard Camp and make that the siege area.
Oh, we were the 3rd most kill zone region.
I'm
He's
gonna be
right.
I think just in
3rd
general, if
most
they
kills.
just remove safe zones from Node.
He's right though. We were irrelevant.
Conquest would make everyone's lives easier, but will
I think
they
somebody
do
made a
that?
forum
Probably
post
not.
about that. You
I
should go
made a
about it.
forum.
My least favorite part about this podcast was when they said Fate and Reforged were basically irrelevant, and it didn't matter what we did. And then they said, and then my favorite part was when they said, well, if it's a 3v3 and Fate and Reforged aren't here, then we win. But since Fate and Reforged were here, we couldn't win.
Be able to build on slopes. That would be very nice.
Or how about the fact that you could build on
Wait.
slopes sometimes, but you can't build on flat?
Hold on. Something's not right here.
Hello?
I was just about to say, Crawling Chaos has never had to have an intentional hole in their wall because they built on a bad location before, right?
Who am I kidding? Being in the castle has
we got a hole in
always
it.
been an advantage.
They had like 6 rocks you could jump
Every-
in from too. It was really
Every
fun.
when you're pushing on
That's what I'm saying,
offense, who wouldn't want to
Yeah.
be stationed in the
Yeah.
castle
Listen,
400 units
I just
from
want to say
anything
our
relevant?
defense time had a great time sitting there and playing different games because nobody pushed our base successfully. Oh shit, that shit was
You
great.
guys were front guild for us too, right?
Yeah, we got at the
Oh.
off rip. We got pushed by 3 guilds.
Wait,
we got
we
pushed
were-
by.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Barcode,
Their
smelled
front
like
guild
bitch in
was
here.
never on. Wait,
Digi, yeah, and they never touched our base.
their
Like
front
never even
guild
got close to
was
it.
never. Oh.
Shit was nutty.
So your front guild never got pushed, but you guys said that you guys weren't on offense the whole time. Then that's the statement, though.
I mean, because the back
a lot of it
guilds
was.
were-
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
they
I'm
were
just
always
saying.
rapping for Fade and.
Yeah, Barcode stopped pushing us after that. Like you, no, I don't think you guys went offensive at all. But Barcode was wrapping around us to go. They would run right next to our base, and our defensive lead would be like, "I think Barcode's pushing us." No, never mind. They're going somewhere else.
For like
Yeah.
a solid 45 minutes, we were ping-ponging between Corrupt and our own base, screening them.
Yeah.
But
And we didn't have a hole in our base, by the way. All right, wasn't one of those sieges. It was that one time.
Yeah,
Oh
Fade had
my
that.
god.
And 5 rocks you could jump in from.
Oh, Fate had the hole.
Yeah, we had a
You
hole that I don't think a lot of people realize, and then there was like 5
You-
rocks that you could jump on.
Crawling did have an Ellie nursery placed outside the gate though, which was
Yeah,
an
don't know. We had
interesting-
2 of them placed outside the game. And that's because there was no
Interesting
room
choice.
inside to put them down.
Yeah, I was struggling with the same
It
thing
might
last
be the
night
new
when I was
meta,
building.
man.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
they'll fix the peg surely one day, right?
You know what's crazy is nobody killed those elephant nurseries the whole fucking siege. Shit was great.
Region, we'd love to have Digi at the
Oh,
podcast.
shit.
Sadly, it's
Also,
not.
the lag for some reason was really
I
weird.
don't think Lowe's
like, we were
felt it
hitting
was
Barcode's
legitimate enough
walls
to
at one
actually
point,
honor,
and no
so I-
damage was registering. The shit was so odd. And
I
then
don't
all of a
blame
sudden,
him.
the wall just popped instantly, and I was like,
Are you
"What
telling
the
me Lowe's
fuck's
doesn't
going
want to
on?"
come out and just argue with these fucking
There
copium
was like 2
abusers?
pretty bad instances.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, lag. It was a lag. That's why they didn't
It
win.
felt like the lag was either like really good for a while, and then it would just kind of like shit the bed.
You're
and then
talking
it
too
was
much shit. Don't
back
worry, I'm on
again,
it,
and
boss.
I don't know.
I don't normally
it was
go to
definitely
podcasts,
not
though.
Normal.
Not like this, anyway. I'm not trying to talk shit. I didn't talk shit
I
on
don't know if
anybody.
it was the worst.
I'm just
I've
saying that
ever
we
had,
did
but it
really
was
well,
definitely
right? Like I'm not
the best.
I didn't talk shit on anybody. I didn't throw shade. There's no shade.
I thought the
Yeah,
fight
no,
was good though, aside from
No, the
everything
fight
else.
was amazing. Like I said,
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
was a
trying
good
to talk
fight.
shit on anyone. I'm just really hyped up because I felt like we did really well. That's all. Like everybody played well, but like Obviously, there was stuff that both teams could have done better, but I feel like if we run it back, I think we lose. For sure. Almost certainly. But, like, it was fun. It was a good time. It was one of the best sieges I've had in a long time. I hope that you guys all had fun.
I think more sieges should be like today's. If anything, more stuff should be like today's. Maybe better like team balancing, maybe less like 4v4s, maybe more 3v3s and 2v2s should be happening.
Yeah.
I think once you get to that 4 number, it really starts to become unfun for some of the top end guilds because how you have to play and how much like time it takes to clear stuff out now with the new buffs, like people definitely need to spread out more, I think.
Yeah, dude, we thank Lord Vicious, dude. Puppet Master Viz, getting Reforged and Fade in there.
Are you suggesting that the fight was worse because Reforged and Fate was here?
Yes, I think
why was the fight worse?
I think every guild but you and Fate would think that, yeah.
Why?
Maybe not Digi.
But why though? Why though?
Yeah, why?
Because it's just more to play around. Like it's more to like there's like just a scale difference here, right? Like if I tell Fate to go proxy, it's a way different proxy than if I tell Crawling to go proxy.
Well,
right?
I think that I think the reason you feel that way is because you didn't win. I feel like if you had won, you wouldn't have cared if we were here, and the fight would have been more fun. I feel like you said yourself the 3v3 is a win. But because Fate and Reforged were here, you didn't win. And so, like, I feel like for you, having fun is winning. And because you didn't win, you didn't have fun. We didn't win it. I mean, like, we won with quotation marks.
Oh,
we didn't get the castle.
Promise you it has nothing to do with that. I just hate when people let fucking Puppet Master Viz get his way because I think it's like all he wants to do is just try to like skew things.
This
it's
is
just
catching
so
strays right now. This ain't Barcode's fault.
He did the Pirate Island bullshit and then ended up not showing. I was the one coordinating it with them. He does that shit. He's always done that ever since BR. This is the same person.
Didn't Blue Sky coordinate the Pirate Island thing? That was his event. Didn't Blue Sky coordinate?
And then Viz was like whining and all this stuff and was like, I'm gonna bring Cho, and then no showed.
I don't know. I felt like the Fate was. I felt like it was way better because Fate was here, because Reforged was here. I felt like the fight was much more engaging because if it was just a 3v3, you guys would have just bulldozed through them.
I think
it would not have been nearly as fun.
Hold on. So for Vipe, and then I'll get to Artie's too because I have questions for both of you. So you talked about the disparity between guilds for like if you tell Fate to go screen versus Crawling to go screen.
Somebody tell Barcode they're catching strays right now. Don't worry though.
I would agree.
I got you, Kai. I got you, Viz.
But shouldn't that be something that you should expect, whether you're the bottom seed or the top seed? And like if you try to if I tell Fate go screen Digi, that's a dumbass call because Fate can't screen Digi. And shouldn't you just like take that into account when you're doing these things? Or are you saying that because the guild strengths are so drastic that it makes the fight not
because fun? And this is why, I mean, granted, maybe it is our side that's going to think this, right? Because we have to kill everyone to win, right?
Yep, that is the win condition. Yeah, I think honestly,
so if I'm Digi,
you do have to kill everyone in order to win. That's true.
So Fate has to do a lot more different things and go out of their comfort zone a lot more than you do.
Yeah, I don't think like people
you don't have to do anything.
Really want to hit Digi or like some of these guilds, right? Like
if we were able to go on offense,
bottom end guilds, it's not really fun for people because they want to they kind of want to hit people in their own brackets. Like it's just.
Well, didn't Fate have fun? I felt like you guys were pumping off tonight, right? Fate was like kicking ass.
I mean, personally, as a Merc, I had a pretty good time hitting like EQ, and you guys felt pretty fun to hit. But the second when like Digi would rotate, it was like instantly like not fun.
Oh, that's gonna
looked like a train coming towards your guys' direction.
I just think like, oh, they have all the casters. Like I instantly comp diff. You're just like, yeah, like it's.
A comp diff hit.
Plus, like when you hit like stuff like Cho, man, like as much as like I've hit Cho, like being in
my
PMA,
favorite is when people say it's a comp diff, and Reforged has
man, I just don't
6
want to hit that
staffs
guild.
in its
like, I don't
offense
feel
ball.
like I'm getting better, man. They got
I
20
completely agree.
all
It is a
healing
comp
each
diff,
other,
and we
like,
still beat you.
I'm just
I
suffering.
agree.
It's not it, man.
It's completely true. 6 fucking staffs. 6. Okay. Comp diff.
So and then on Artie's too. So you were talking about bringing Fate and Reforged into the fight. Wasn't an issue necessarily because of their strength. It was because it just turned a 3v3 into a 4v4 into a 4v4.
This is my personal thing. I just
Okay,
don't like anything over 3v3s. But
is that just for
opinion.
Siege or is that for
Because
Node?
he
It's
lost.
for Node Wars and Siege. It's just a thing. It's just like it turns into just more of a backdoor fest than normal. But like I guess in Siege more so the 4v4 is a little more balanced than a 3v3 because at that point you just 2v1 on BC and then somebody holds the non-castle guild. But and then
the
Digi's
problem was
forced into a
the
permanent
biggest
screen.
problem is the castle shit, right? Like there's no win con for the other side, right? They just got to hold.
They just have to defend. It's the same thing. It's the same shit that happened in the last Siege
But
with
you
Barrage.
guys were given
literally the win con becomes, well, this isn't going to go anywhere, so we're just going to stale, and that's
But
the win
that's why
con
the
is we just stale this.
That's why the teams were given weight to the other side, right? Because like we do have the win condition that we can just stalemate this, but you guys had stronger guilds.
Stalemating is much easier than like
the
any
teams
other
were the teams were set until last night where Viz threw you in, right? And like the teams were like that was a wrench in everybody's plan. It makes it a lot. It makes it a lot more of a stalemate fest as a 4v4 than a 3v3 there.
I
Plus, if
can't.
Max would have told me, all you have to do is sit at base and just hold.
I'm just
dude,
gonna
I'd be
mute
grinning
now.
ear to ear, son. Like that shit would be
The
nutty.
reasoning is you can't reason with people that you cannot
Barcode
rationalize
played
with
well,
people
but, like,
that have
they also
not
get to pop
reasoned themselves
SOB
into their
off rip,
position.
and they basically
You
just
can't
get to
do it.
like 4-second like spawn push over and over and over
Right.
again, trade their life.
It's not possible to
discrediting
reason
them,
with
they
someone
played
that
really
didn't
well,
reason
they
themselves
lived,
into their
but
position.
It's a lot. There's not a lot
The
of
Earth was
thinking
created in
there.
7
You don't
days
have to
because
think about how
God.
to play.
Same
Right?
people.
There's no macro
Same
for
people.
them. What's the macro for your side?
Nothing can be done.
Digi does all the macro there. Reforge, stay castle, EQ, go back door. Whoever's like at barcode,
Get me
we
in
will
here.
go screen barcode.
Join
That's
the
the macro call,
Hutler,
and
if
you
you
did
wanna
it
come in
3
here,
hours,
I
and
would
that's all
love
you
it.
have to do.
I would love it.
But there's no
Hutler, if you
thinking
just
from
wanna
your
join.
side.
That would
Like I
be
don't
fucking
understand why you
juicer.
think you had like this big brain play. You got the macro in the first 5 minutes.
Hey, did you see Barcode's base when it went tap back up?
Yeah, it went from 10 to fucking 55 in a minute.
Dude, in a
Sick.
second, that shit was crazy. I was like, yo, this is fucked.
That's right, Barcode.
And Blue, you can word on this too. I don't think necessarily that Blue talking for Reforge or anyone else on the digital side was saying that the win or the stale was because of any sort of big macro brain play, but was just guilds performing well in the jobs they need to do. Because I don't think necessarily you always need the super wrinkly brain play. Like Cho doesn't do that
Right,
sometimes.
but what I'm saying,
We just executed well. That's all.
right.
Yeah.
But if that's a 3v3 versus a 4v4, the macro is entirely different, right? Because the fact that you have a fourth
Same
guild that gets to
strategy.
just that you just get to backdoor is entirely different. Like the
It's the
backdoor
same
potential in a
strategy.
3v3 is not there.
So why is the backdoor potential?
Oh, I mean,
in a
PMA knows
3v3
backdoor
so much
potential.
different than a 4v4. What changes? Because it's not making it uneven in terms of how many teams are there.
It's another
it's
guild
just
you have to
making
account
The
for.
rest timers are
it is
so
another
short in
guild,
Siege,
but
man.
why is 3v3 so much different than a 4v4? It's another guild to account for, but I mean, like, is the 3v3 too much? Do we just need to do 2v2s, or is that too much? Because then we have 2 guilds to account for the enemy.
I don't think that the 4v4 was any bit different, right? I just think that the including castle guilds inside of the fight was a little, because there's no win con for them, right? If there was a win con for them, the fight would be very different, right?
The win condition was stalemating in this case, yeah.
Yeah, but
The
it's
stalemating's like
Because
a really
we're not
easy
strong
win
enough to
con.
actually
You're
push
not
down.
gonna do
If
risky
you
macro
told-
Oh,
for
it's
it.
because it's
if you told me
easy.
I had to stalemate a node, like it would be
Nobody executed well. It was just an
easier.
easy win con. I agree. Nobody
Yeah, like
executed.
you don't have to do
No.
anything. There's no movement. You don't have to move your ball anywhere. You don't have
Johnny
to really
was
do
right.
shit, you know?
It wasn't some big brain. I never said it was like some big brain macro fucking thing. We just executed really well. Like, you guys just really executed poorly. You fumbled on the 5-yard line, big dog. Like, you guys had it in the bag.
You pretty much said it, but you dumbed it down.
If I could execute by just going to castle, hitting people unflagged, like that's not you don't have to think about the game and you'll be like half impactful.
So
I mean, your guys' macro was not incredibly hard to do, if I'm being honest.
I mean, even with
It's
the
not
macro play.
incredibly
Okay,
hard.
so we're real quick for Vipe.
Yeah.
I don't think necessarily saying like Reforged didn't have like a big thing they had to do in terms of macro or anything like that because they just had to go into castle and do whatever. That's fine. Sometimes the simple play is the best play, and if you are struggling with that because of
I don't disagree, but here's the thing, right? Is that our macro? So like I tell Fate to go match EQ, right?
like what you're
walk
saying,
around,
so I
try to
disagree.
find EQ, right? All EQ has to do is just hit whatever base is open. That's EQ's play.
Yo,
right?
Huntler's in the lobby above us. That's the digital number.
Like there is no world where like our macro is just so easy of like, yeah, just go hit this base. Because like if we get backdoor knocked open by EQ, then Digi puts a flag and comes to our base. I have to go honor that. So now we lose pressure on Barcode. Right?
Yeah, that's how macro works,
Aren't these
right?
all things that can happen to either side?
Yeah, like what? That's how macro works. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
But think about it, right?
It doesn't really happen to your side.
You guys don't really
You have to kill 4 bases.
Right?
Doesn't happen on our side.
Hold on, hey guys, hold on. Let Panda talk first.
Yo, does a defensive team need cannons? No. You guys don't really need anything, right? Like all you guys got to do is
we used
hold.
cannons the whole time. What?
I saw reforged cannons at the beginning of the fight. Never again.
I am having so much trouble keeping up with this wheel of excuses because I've heard one, the castle is an advantage, the other, the castle is a disadvantage. One, the defending team was going on offense too much, it was making us hard to push. Now the defensive team wasn't cannoning. They don't need to cannon. It's so much easier not to cannon. God damn.
I need you to play Awakening, bro. Honestly.
Fuck, I got my wheel excuses here. Fuck Viz for some reason. I got repair materials are too strong.
Said fuck Viz, right?
I got 4v4s are too complicated to macro. I got reforged makes no difference. I got reforged makes too much of a difference. I can't keep track, man.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Honestly, he's kind of just spouting facts right now. I honestly like.
Oh, we don't have to take any risks.
Yeah,
You
zero
don't.
risks. Yep.
You also were saying that we were going on offense and making you guys have to pull back.
Yeah, but you're never
Because
really
Crawling was
going
never
offense.
hit,
It's not a
Huntler.
big deal for
Crawling
you
was
if you
their
fuck
forward
up when
kill.
you
They were
push on
never
it.
hit, but they were on defense the whole time.
all right.
We were
You
absolutely
guys are
always
missing
at a
the
risk
thing,
for
right?
losing something. We could have lost Barcode. Obviously, if we let you guys wipe our base, we could lose something. If we let you kill Equilibrium, we lose something. The
But
win
you
con
guys
for
are
you
missing
guys
the
is
point,
killing
right?
someone.
All you guys had to do was go and hit a base. You didn't actually need to do anything to the
How
base. You
dare
just
us
need to
have
hit
to
it
go and
pull the
attack
kill
a
back,
fort?
right?
How dare us?
Right, like,
all you guys had to do was hit a fort. You guys, the same thing. You guys, all you had to do was hit a
we
fort.
actually
You just
have to kill
failed.
the base. You guys didn't have to kill a base.
Yes, but that's okay. I'm glad we've come to the conclusion that stalemating is easier. It's just weird because just a couple weeks ago, I was told the exact fucking opposite by the same fucking guilds.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Not
wait
me.
a minute. Yeah, wait a minute.
The guild's here. The guild's here. If you want to stalemate, that's a win. I was told a bunch of time that winning a stalemate is a win. I literally
By corrupt.
I don't disagree that your side won. I'm saying
You know,
it's a
he's
lot
kinda
easier
making a
for
lot
your
of-
side to play for that win.
He's kinda making a lot of
Like,
sense.
same story.
Yeah,
It's a lot easier.
Denying that.
It's a lot easier for us to hold castle than push castle 1v1. Nobody disagrees, right?
And Blue Squadron pointed out that that was taken into account, right?
Correct.
Anyone here who's now arguing that the teams were balanced in Digi's favor is on so much gymnastics copium, I am scared that you're going to overdose and break your fucking back. There were disadvantages here, but your macro play to go after the Castle Guild made no sense.
Preach.
And I'm glad you guys did. I literally had corrupt players in my chat when you guys took the first gate in the first 5 minutes, bragging, thinking that meant something.
God, my dick is so hard for
that
Huntler right
was
now.
somehow like something
Holy
we
shit.
cared about. Anyone thinking Digi defending the gates mattered in a win con for us here is actually brain dead. Because there was no way you could have Digi sitting in the castle, right? So if you guys didn't have that thought from the beginning, what were your goals there? And then, as already pointed out, you had Menace run it down into a meat grinder for 3 hours.
I mean,
Yeah, that was an interesting choice.
the thought process is that Ventus should just dumpster reforge in your flex team.
Well,
That's a
they
very
should.
fair thought,
In fairness, they should.
right? Blue even said they should.
Yeah. I mean,
your
in fairness,
side says they should too. So that's not a necessarily, if that's the thought, then realistically, like, they should get more done than they did, right?
But it doesn't. Your win con was not to kill Digi in the castle.
Correct.
first.
The win
No,
con
the
Correct.
win con is
my
to
goal
kill
is to keep
someone
your-
else while Digi isn't
Yes.
able to pressure because you have someone that can potentially kill
So
you.
why not put
Right.
Fade in the castle
That's
instead?
the idea.
The
why not
win
put
con
Fade in the
is
castle instead?
if they are hard winning in castle, harder than they are, theoretically they keep your recos down a lot longer, right? Which means higher spawn timers, which therefore means a way less active proxy, which then means when Barcode gets to 10%, you're not just actively able to run around as much as you are.
Which
So-
sounds like to me that one, Reforged performed a lot better than anyone gave him credit for. But two, even if so, you could have swapped Menace and Fate, and the same thing would have happened. You would have had to have Reforged pinned in our base because you can't just leave them there. And Digi can't just sit in Castle because then Barcode's going to die or someone else is going to die. So again, you could have swapped them. And you said this before, it actually reminded me of that. The whole thing with Fate Equilibrium.
I agree. The play was we should have just been in Castle because I don't think like you guys if we're in Castle, even though we probably get absolutely fucking cropped. No, after we get second gate, right? We have access to both spawns. If we're in Castle, Digi can't just leave you to defend against us. Right?
I mean, this could have been a choose your own adventure kind of siege. True, you might have had multiple pathways to victory here.
Yeah,
right.
100% did.
So we should have done that. I agree. That's a fuck up on our part. But the point still stands. We thought, like in hindsight, yes, we shouldn't have put Menace in there. But the thought is they probably kill Digi's Recos against Reforged and a Flex team.
But when they weren't, did anyone have a talk over 3 hours that, hey, maybe we should call
We tried. We tried to audible a lot.
The only audible I felt was desperation plays.
I had Menace go.
There was no audible.
I flagged Peninsula
the audible was
and had
plan
Menace
A.
go swap with crawling to try to go 2v1 barcode.
All right, boys, we're audibling over to plan A. But sir, isn't that the original plan?
Reforge, whatever, which we did, right? Because you came out of Castle and came back, and then Digi double push Peninsula with Reforge to kill our flag there. We did try to pivot things.
I'm not getting the name. Who the fuck is Peninsula?
The Peninsula. The little peninsula right outside.
I thought you were talking like a gate.
You defended Medaya Castle for how long? You know what
I call it Peninsula?
We need to have a conversation.
Defended Medaya Castle, motherfucker. I didn't need to defend nothing else.
True, we defended it.
Okay, so I'm just thinking of this from like a macro standpoint and kind of reading chat. If you look at this on paper, right, with the CC Fake Corrupt Menace versus Barcode Digi,
He's
EQ,
keeping it
and
civil.
Reforged. If Menace is in, and this is what I would believe the game plan was. I don't know what the actual game plan was. I showed up 25 minutes late to Siege because I was literally moving. But Menace and Castle should mean
that's the normal
that either
owner of the Node War podcast. You guys should go give him a
help screen.
A follow.
Or Digi has to stay in Castle.
He's the host.
Otherwise, Digi dies. Because if Digi leaves and Barcode is not there, then Menace should roll over EQ and Reforged according to past strengths we've seen, and should just like make their way to Digi's.
But they didn't.
For it and kill it. That's what I would think in that scenario should happen. Reforged can be there. You can talk about flags and stuff like that. But if it's only Menace, who gives a fuck about flagging up? You're not going to have anyone else to hit.
Well, if anything, that also helps too because Reforged has to flag up to hit you, and they're just going to be running on top of Digi structures.
Yeah,
and we were getting turboed by Digi just as frequently. Yeah.
And then if you want to talk about that, then you just have Corrupt and CC hit.
We solo held crawling out of the castle like 4 times.
Whoever's not screening. And it should be free because I would say CC is stronger than
never have
BC.
happened.
Corrupt is stronger than BC, and both of those guilds are also stronger than EQ and Reforged. This sounds like an easy fucking dub.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, I'm the non-biased one here. I think this was a fuck up. There's no reason why Menace shouldn't be able to push the castle.
Correct.
If Digi's not home.
The biggest thing that I'll say though that is a big factor is that how fast when the guilds are all built so close, like the how far away our allies are and us, and how far away the enemies are and how close they are together, right? As soon as they get a call, right? Barcode called out, hey, we're at 10%. All the guilds panic, and then you get 4 guilds on 1 flag, you know what I mean? And they'll sack whatever they have to sack to be able to go and clear off Barcode. And then because of how fast you can rebuild bases now, you lose flag pressure, bases back up to 100%.
But you have a lot of people too, and you can just bomb into the fucking giant ass hole that's
because
there,
those
bro.
guys, those guys are busy doing something, right? And then you guys sack whatever you were doing to go help Barcode, and then you go back and rebuild or do whatever you have to do, right?
I can respect that, but collectively we can play this like excuse game all night.
No, I know, I agree.
I agree. Let's be real. From outside the castle perspective, your guys' offense had the best ground location. Sarma Outpost attacking Barcode was cracked. By far,
Menace is definitely the strongest,
Corrupt used
followed
it
by
the whole
Equilibrium.
time. It's the reason.
Then there's probably a gap, and then there's Reforged, and then there's
I can't say
Fate.
nothing for Corrupt, but I can tell you.
I know, but I'm just saying, from a strategic standpoint, Barcode almost died because Sarma Outpost was right next to their fucking base, and because their flag was made very hard to engage into. They could hold it for a very long time. So, I mean, we can play these excuses all day long of well, our base is a little more spread out, but like. I mean, it's not like Digi ever placed our flag on Corrupt or you guys, and it didn't immediately get swarmed by Fate and you or Corrupt as well. That is just the nature of when it's going to be a 4v4. There's not a lot of empty space where you can just hide a flag and ain't nobody going to notice and react to.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the distance from like your flag to your base was nowhere near the closest distance to what our flag to our bases were. But I agree with you, right? Like,
right, my base was
here nor there, right? It's
fucking downtown in fucking Brickell, Miami, while I was trying to go fucking fight over here, and God.
I hear you. I mean, it was a good fight. I think everybody had a pretty good time, to be honest.
It was a great
I think it was
besides minutes, I don't think they had fun in Castle.
Nope. I don't think. No, I don't think they did.
Just the first.
I'm jealous of Reforged. They got to play in my castle more than I got to play in it.
The second we swapped over to Castle for like the last 10 minutes, bro, just hitting Reforged in that courtyard felt so good, man. Some of your players are so fun to hit, Blue. I love hitting them. They die in 2 hits. You hit a Digi guy, it's like, that's only 10% of his health, man.
That's right, baby. Tuvala Timmies. We love them, bro. We love them, but fuck me, they don't have any gear.
Which goes back to
okay,
I got one final point here to remind, because we were going by points, right? We were saying, you know, who would win based on point system. Not give enough credit to Reforged, because if you really think about it, if we look at the frags and everything, Digi ate the hardest in terms of KDA, right? It was something like 8,000 something to like 2K, 3K deaths, right? If it wasn't for Reforged, Digi would have had to sat in base and not gotten all those frags. So I propose Reforged gets a piece of it. Just a little bit, you know?
Baby!
I'm not disagreeing they're impactful there. What I'm saying is like that they don't have to think about how they play the game to win there, right? Which is fine. But like to like hype yourself up when like all you have to do is like do the most brain dead play. Go to castle, kill shit.
That's my favorite.
Wait. I mean, if you're only saying to Reforged they didn't have to think, they absolutely did. You didn't see this, but many times we had to call Reforged to either exit the castle and swap with us or swap back over the course. It's not like they didn't have to do anything. Yeah, and it's not like that's any different from what Fate was doing all night or any of the other guys. We're acting like it's somehow big brain plays to, hey, there's a flag here, go kill it, or hey, go to this base. Like, yeah, Reforged's job was to let Digi leave the castle. But I mean, is any of this big brain? Did anything big brain happen tonight for any side?
No.
Did we think there was something big brain going on here? It was.
Yeah, there's not much big brain plays happening regardless. It's a very simple game.
Yeah, it was pretty simple. Stumbled on the 5-yard line.
I just, it's a weird thing to say, like, Reforged didn't have to think, so it's easier, so that's why we lost or some shit. Like, I'm overdosing, man.
It's also kind of shitty to try to take that away from one of the weaker guilds in Siege when they perform well, to be like, oh, well, it was brain dead, so really you shouldn't feel good about yourselves. That's fucking super smart. Coming from the third
we'll give
strongest guild
people
in North
credit,
America.
but some people got to stay humble, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Bro, you went negative 1,100 and all you had to do was kill unflagged
how
players.
negative was Corrupt tonight? I'm curious.
Okay,
how negative was Corrupt tonight?
Going through a blender.
We were negative 1,100, and you were negative what? Was it 1,000? It was 1,000.
I mean,
that's crazy. It's almost like the ratio is similar.
Let's go through this move excuse really quickly about not having to be flagged up or some shit. Bro, 90% of the fights that Reforged dealt with, it was just Reforged and Menace. It wasn't like it was an advantage for the flag thing. It was that one time you guys, actually the biggest int you idiots fucking did, which was slam all 4 guilds at Digi when you had Barcode at 10%. That's the only time where you guys flagging up was actually an advantage for Reforged. That's it. The whole rest of the siege, Reforged, it was just Reforged and Menace. And if anything, there were still hits coming from Digi's flex. So again, that is such
That's also not true. That's not true. We were in castle a few different times, and Crawling was in castle a few different times.
For like 60 seconds. Like, guys, like we're talking a 3-hour siege here. And if you're really going to attribute Reforged a couple times with you pushing the castle, you guys having to unflag or flag up or whatever and deal with that versus Reforged, that's insane to me. If we're going to blame that as an excuse here on like why it happened that way.
Actually insane. God.
Most of the fight, it was Menace and Reforged, right? Like you could even line it up with their numbers there because Menace lived in Media Casa, and if you look at their numbers, they line up. Sure, there was probably some differences there. I definitely got a couple of Reforged kills here or there. Sorry, boys.
100%.
Meteors be meteors, but like I just can't see that. The only time I think it really was an impact was that time you guys slammed all 4 guilds down, Main Street. When the fuck was that at?
I never saw 4 guilds hitting.
And Barcode was about to die, and then Digi and even Equilibrium, I think we made a little circle around Barcode a couple times, killed the flags. Corrupt did their CTG and tried to run it through us, failed. We wiped crawling one more time, and then you guys literally bolted to the castle. Every guild.
Yeah.
You don't remember that? You guys then ran it down. Our structures were down, but we defended, and eventually you guys gave up. But by the time you gave up, Barcode had built themselves back to 60% and fully rebuilt their walls.
Yep.
I was
You
like,
guys
there's
pulled off
no
and hit the
way they
castle.
gave us this gift.
I know,
I don't
dude.
know. I didn't get to push out a castle, so what I got was back end was when they came and pushed, Barcode already had walls back up, so that's what I got from back end stuff. But I'm not entirely sure because I couldn't confirm it. I wasn't there.
From Panda or Artie, I didn't really get elite base all war because it was just like killing cube flags the entire time or fighting their ball. Was there like a call or something to push Digi when Barcode was at 10? I don't understand. Or
because it was getting close to the end of the time. We're time gated, right? And we were about to hit that time.
There was an hour.
It was an hour and a half left.
There was-
No, this was earlier. There was like an hour left.
Yeah, there's at least an hour left. It might have been more. And to be clear,
Only
also,
came
By
out-
the time
Know your
the time that we
facts.
were called to push it, there was 30 minutes left.
to
and
be
it
clear,
wasn't.
Not all 4 guilds pushed.
Barcode's
Crawling
holes
pushed.
were still there. I was
Crawling
standing
pushed and
in the
then
hole
pushed.
when I was told and saw Crawling and Corrupt horsing by us to our base. I was standing in Barcode's hole because. All right, that sounds weird, but I was just sitting there because getting free blizzards off as you guys were trying to get the kill. So I was, doing my thing. So it wasn't like Barcode was rebuilt when this happened.
After we CTG'd, we had to stay home because EQ CTG'd us,
CTG'd you, which
and
was part of the
then
play.
and then they also flagged us, right? So like we killed the CTG. We were gonna ride out to Kusha to go back to Barcode. Then they knock a hole, right? They actually got 3 walls down, so we have to go back and deal with that and rebuild all of our recos. So that delays us inevitably getting back to Barcode.
Sure, it does.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right?
How it
like
works.
Part of the nature of the game, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no, don't disagree. It's not just so simple as like go back to Barcode there, right? Like we're at 70%. I think you guys ended up coming over a little later. We got down to 50%, right?
Yeah.
But like it's not like it was like we were full built, right? Like we just kind of left at a certain point and just sent it back, and like everyone was in castle and said you guys were basically stripped and you guys were getting burned. So we're like, well, send it.
I get that. That was probably the worst call of the siege.
Yeah, 100%.
Even more so than the Menace thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the call was that you guys only had a Hwacha left or something like that.
There should have been 2 watches
and a
when
couple-
you guys got off of Barcode. There was 2 watches and a supply depot at the top. I didn't think you guys would actually come. I thought you'd keep running it down on Barcode, but
Yeah, the call is that you
kept running it down on Barcode regardless
No,
of
Barcode had,
Yeah,
Barcode had full
100%.
repaired because they at the time.
Nope,
at the time.
not yet.
I can reference my stream. I was standing in
Same.
the hole when I watched the guilds run by me to the
Not to be
five.
that much, you hardly ever with the ball. I agree.
I mean, I still don't
Shit.
think.
Taking a
I'm an
shot.
objective gamer. I'll have you know, I axed down Corrupt's fucking goddamn wall tonight, and I
Kills are
told you.
objective.
You better have a
Goddamn
screenshot
right
of that. I don't believe you.
I will go
Yes,
clip it if I need to.
I don't fucking
Maybe
believe
this is
you.
just like I still don't think on paper Menace being in Castle is a bad play. I don't know. I would say
It is.
before
On
this
paper.
I think Menace
paper,
should
yes.
be able to push Reforged
Correct.
and Digi, and whether it's like a bad day or we underestimated somebody's strength or overestimated somebody else's strength. If it just becomes to the case of, and maybe this was like not communicated or just like no one took a macro lead, and I'm gonna still argue, and
Bartering is fun.
I've said
Hands
this a
off.
few times in my tier list Sundays. There should be in these big ass fights somebody in cross comms who is designated to help macro, who is a good
Yep.
macro caller, because
Yep.
nobody ever fucking macros well in any of these group fights.
I went in and started doing it after the like EQ CTG. Everyone went to castle. We lost tempo stuff and just took over. But I agree. I think that if you guys aren't making progress in castle, like, because I got a lot of mixed info of like sometimes like Digi's like getting
They weren't
burned.
getting
Like,
progress.
I think one time
They were not
CC,
getting
and
progress.
this was, like,
When
towards
we
the
were
end,
there,
said-
they weren't touching
like,
Digi's
'cause
base.
Digi was at
You
our
can
fort,
watch my VOD.
right? And they had a flag,
Watch
and
my
Fate came
VOD.
over to proxy, and I told Fate, don't
When we
kill
had our
them
whole offense ball
because
there,
they said
they didn't
Digi
get
was
shit.
getting burned, right? And they were like, Digi's at
It's only until-
70%, and
when I
Digi
started
actually, I think,
sending-
at one point thought they were getting burned.
When I started sending my offense ball away, that's when they started getting digital damage down.
But there was,
It
like,
wasn't
times
until
where
I
it's like,
sent
oh, it's
fucking
going so
60
great.
people away that they
Burned
actually
it,
got
and
something
like,
done.
We can't do anything because Reforged is here. So it's like super inconsistent. And if that's the case, then like we should
40
just swap,
reforged kept them from taking digital space out in the castle.
Yeah, I agree.
Wrap your head around that.
So much fucking pressure, you know.
No,
But
100%.
I still think
And to
that
go back on
that
the
feels
whole
like
thing with
a-
Barcode of why we pulled off is because when you guys sent 4 guilds to kill our flags and cannon, right? Because Digi couldn't do it alone. And then Barcode also couldn't do it alone. And then you guys sent all 4 guilds after us to finally clear it, and we had to go back to base. By the time we got back offensive, that's when Corrupt got hit at your base, right? So we're like, all right, let's go see what we're doing on Barcode. And Digi was free roaming, and so was EQ. So we're like, fuck, we got to do something. So we tried to like pull EQ back to Castle, and that's essentially what we did. We hit Castle, Digi comes back, and then we can flip it and go back offensive outside, right? That was the only real reason CC hit the Castle, was to pull Digi back, right? Because Digi free roaming is strong as fuck, and it's hard to deal with them playing open field, you know?
I just feel like and maybe you didn't mean it quite in this sense. I feel like we lose so much pressure thing is just kind of like a sunken cost fallacy. If we're like making pressure or doing something successful, or on the vice versa, somebody else is, and it's countered, because that's something that can easily happen, right? Like they're like, oh, they're doing this, well, we're going to start doing this in the node where to counter it. And if they continue to do what they're doing, it's just
I'm crying
because we're actively working against it. We're being proactive.
Oh my god.
I don't think that there's an issue necessarily with, and again, this is what I was trying to get
thanks
to,
so much, man.
Went off track. If
Don't give
Menace
Agent a
is
follow.
not able to put pressure within the castle, right? Like if Digi leaves and Menace
Super
still
gamer,
gets, like,
Reforce gamer, go give him a follow
or
right
not,
now.
Like anything worthwhile done, Menace should be in comms. Hey, this isn't.
We
fucking
did game
working.
tonight, buddy.
Please let us leave.
Well, so
we're in a
in
blunder,
backend,
and it's not very fun.
In backend, I'm getting that Barcode's burning, so in theory, it's working.
It was,
Barcode
and then everyone
7%,
decided to come to
die.
digital for some reason.
It was
okay.
working. The fact was that they decided to int some of the structures, right, to get all 4 guilds to come and clear cannons and flags.
Well, okay, go ahead.
Enough. It has to work more.
The only call that like changes the outcome, I think, is that they tell us to CTG. We just got a castle and CTG Barcode.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I thought was going to happen.
When they're 10%, even if we
It's
get
over.
like a 6 or 7% burn, it's just inting into them, inting through him to kill him. They're not going to get anything
That's
up.
it. They're dead. Yeah.
I do think that
I agree, muted.
I do think that the CTGs were misplayed, because I don't think there's any world unless the Okay, so were any of the CTGs used to get Barcode low to 10%?
No.
Okay, then just place 4 CTGs in the stick and just kill it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No, I didn't pop the CTG. I 100% would have popped in the base. I agreed. I told Soggy that shit is stupid. Like, you should never place it outside the base.
Like we had SOB. Like we had SOB from when Digi and EQ were 2v1ing us at our base for a little bit there.
Good shit tonight.
We essentially just spawn, wipe from Reforge, spawn at base, wait a couple seconds, pop SOB, then take PA and take
Java,
CTG.
thanks for that
and
resub. 8 months, buddy. Thanks so much, man. Welcome back.
I mean,
I appreciate you.
I thought Fate was holding EQ in their
8
base the whole time.
months.
It was not. So
I
how
agree.
it started,
Let's back up.
EQ was on our base early on, and then they had ended up swapping with Barcode, and Barcode had us out of base
Corrupt
for a
just
bit.
doesn't want to
but
admit
eventually, I think like in the last
was Corrupt's
hour,
macro.
I want to say
It was Corrupt's call.
probably at the latest 2 hours and 10
That's why
minutes
he's upset
in,
about
we were
it. He's the one that was
literally at EQ's
macroing.
base like perma. There's a couple times where Reforge would come in and wipe the flag and like suicide and int for it, but we'd always have one pocket and we'd get one down like immediately. The only time we ever really went back to base was, I believe, when I don't know if EQ CTG or
fans
what, but it's when like
shouldn't have
Corrupt
pushed the
started
castle.
getting gutted.
The only
by
losing play was to push the
EQC.
castle.
I think you guys, that was the only time we really lost pressure on EQ, because it was at that point when we were 1v1ing EQ, if it went on for like another hour, like they were going to die. Their base was fully gutted, walls were down.
Late
the
to
stick
Black
was dying.
Desert. Hey, girl, hi.
It was just literally we ran out of time.
Was there a little help a couple times with Corrupt Ball pushing EQ? That was something we talked about before that I remember.
I think that's been
No, I mean, like, we had a couple flags up there, and Digi, I think, flagged, like, southwest of our flag to then proxy it, right? Like, outside. Right. Yeah, so,
That's
like...
why I'm bringing this up. That's why it's a little complicated, because I remember hearing earlier while I was just chilling in the chat that, oh, Fate was just rolling EQ, and I just... Part of my point with that was how infrequently Digi had to go to EQ's base should be a sign that EQ was doing fine. I guess, in my opinion. The only times we really had to go up there, once we went up there early and it was Fate, but then it was always in the last hour.
Only
the 2 or
losing
3
players
times
to
we
go
had
into the
there,
castle.
Corrupt was involved.
And they went into the castle.
Yeah, it mostly just
After the
changed
second
once,
gate's dead.
Once we had Barcode off us and we could actually get a flag up there, it was kind of favored into Fate. And then just having Reforge occasionally suicide into flag made it where we would have like a 5-minute grace period before we get like the next one down, even though we had it pocketed. But I'd have to look at the VOD, because we were up there for a while.
I had 12 defense members and I sent 17 flex members back on perma defense. I got a complaint at the end of the war that said, man, we were a little bit worried that you guys were just going to let us 30v70 Fate all the way until we died. And we were like, no, we got you. We spawned back once. And for being base locked,
held him in the base the whole time, by the way.
Base locked by Fate in a 1v1. I was sure doing a lot of flagging and CTGing and 2v1ing on my flags.
That's the Abyssal boys, baby!
Gut bringing Corrupt back and 66%ing Menace. Like, I don't know, man. If you guys, that was a hell of a base lock. If I, you know.
I mean, that last hour is pretty good, man, for Fate. As like a merc, I felt like it was pretty comfy being in Fate's ball merking up there, actually. I was really happy when we were up there, because that's generally when I was getting kill feed.
Also, isn't Fate, like, an amalgamation of, like, 2 T1? It's like Highfall, Cerberus, and who?
No, it's Mercenaries, Nekohana, and then Isolated.
So it's like,
that's on it.
Are they all T1 players?
Isolated and Mercenaries are T1s. Isolated has done sieging in the past as various alliances.
That's not fair to ISO. They're not a T1 guild anymore. They've graduated. Mercenary, like that Fate Alliance has been on T2 plus and doing very well for like the last like what 3 months. I think it's been 3 months. But like, and they've been sieging many times. They've just been on Balanos. So like, and this is our first time on Medaya as well. Like, I don't think it's fair to call them a T1 guild, but yeah, like Johnny's right. That's where they originated.
They're like two T3 caps. Yeah. They probably hit most of it on most of their players now. They definitely bring numbers.
Has it been 3
they're
months
really
since
strong.
Fate started sieging and stuff?
Yeah,
Has
I mean
it been 3.
It's been they've
like
sieged 8 or 9
they
weeks in a row.
Pretty big break though
At
too.
least.
ISO took a pretty big break. I don't think it's been 3 months, has it?
Well, it's been something like that, I think.
When did Balanos release? No, they started doing it when
maybe not
Balanos
3
released.
months.
When did Balanos release again?
About 3 months ago. Because they were there the first week.
Ain't no way.
There's no way. Ain't no way.
Yep, it's been that long.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
What the fuck?
Because I came back 2 months ago and it was already here.
But you came back 2 months ago. What the fuck?
Yep.
From my favorite is when the
What
facts hit
are
them.
we defining as base
And they're
lock,
like, wait,
right? 'Cause
what
that
the
was
fuck?
term that was used. Base lock to me is
Damn. It's like
I
a
think
millionth
being able to have
time.
an ego flag up for a bit, and if it gets like wiped, and then being able to immediately put like another one, and just being able to like sit on walls for a bit is pretty kind of base lock.
No,
Because
that's
then I would
not.
30 of my
I'm
people in
not
base?
seeing-
With 30 of my people in base?
I would say,
I'm not saying, because I'm not
Read
saying I don't get
Discord.
60% with a hole in the base, but my main ball didn't spawn back to base.
because here's
it
the,
would be fair to say that EQ was locked in their base for at least the majority of the time. I can't say that they.
It definitely wasn't the majority. It was definitely just. No. It was just like that last hour. It felt really comfy out
or
there.
if it was in voice, they said that was the majority of the war, and I'm like, that's bullshit.
No,
because
it was not majority. If it was majority of the war, then
EQ
Corrupt side stomps. No. Yeah.
we had to sack a Sarma flag because EQ like at our base, right? Like we had to like there's definitely times that like EQ is definitely roaming pretty free.
I mean, there was a solid like 20-30 minutes where we were bouncing between our base and Corrupt base.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was fun.
And then they're silent.
And it was silent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I don't want to speak on ISO's behalf too much, but I would like to see him 1v1 some guilds. I think they would do really good into EQ personally as a merc. And I think they'd probably do really good into Reforge.
Yeah, we don't take 1v1s though.
Yeah, I wish more people took 1v1s, man, because it's, I don't know,
No,
I
they're
feel like
just
people having like
objectively bad.
Rivalry is like a good thing because they can kind of gauge themselves
not.
better. Because the thing is with teamfight cope is like everyone's like, oh, it's XYZ person. Like kind of everyone on our side right now with Corrupt. Like,
Yo, thanks for that resub 5 months, Arlu.
Should have been able to, you know, take that.
Welcome back,
1v1
buddy.
with
Thanks so
Reforge.
much,
Kinda
man. I really
dogpiling
appreciate
them
that.
for like, you know, not doing.
Oh, I'm not. Oh no, I'm 100% not coping in the sense that like. I'm
not coping in the sense that I'm
of,
coping.
like, if Barcode goes to 10%, that's ours to lose. Like that's 100% true. Like that's everybody on our side would agree. We should have fucking quad CTG'd on the stick. We win. Like we fumbled that. I don't disagree. I think the whole like the whole like gassing it up like all this was like so like one-sided our side is not as factual, right? Like because there's a lot of times we get backdoored. If it's that one-sided, there's no way Digi should be able to go flag on us, knock our wall down, and get us to 50.
I think if
we did fumble the win, but I don't
Deadly
think it's
fans,
as
I
like
agree.
80-20 as Blue
It's
thinks.
not like
That's
crazy.
all.
I would
was.
say in what you would consider to be the win condition, if you say that the win condition is that one of the sides fall, like people die in game, then I would say it's probably 80-20 for the corrupt side. But if you're saying that stalemating is a win condition for the digital side, I would say it's much more even, because stalemating is easier to do than to win. But if you're saying that for the other the guilds to fall, then I would definitely say it would be in our favor. If those are the only circumstances we're taking of when guilds fall, and we're not including the stalemates, I think if we ran that fight back 10 times, we would probably see like 6 stalemates and like 1 in 3, where the 1 is the corrupt side dies and the 3 is that the digital side falls. I think it's going to stalemate a majority of the time because of the ease that it can stalemate.
I don't think so. Barcode getting a 10% and then the fumble.
Stalemating. Shit. I'm so tired of nodes timing out and shit just timing out.
I hate that shit too. It's a nightmare, bro.
Sticks just need to die. Like guilds actually just need to I don't know. That's just not fun.
It's just a product of having so many guilds, right? Like for example, I don't know, was it the 4v4 whatever Digi was when I called it? Was it Monday or whatever the fuck that shit war was?
That was it a 5v5?
A 5v5, right?
Oh, that 5v5.
We Corrupt died. Right. Corrupt died at what, an hour?
None of this matters.
10 or something.
None of this matters.
Like we died
like
just
an hour 20.
Yeah, an hour 10, hour 20, right? 40 minutes left, and there's not enough time for them to 5v4 on a node. Like, that's 40 minutes on a node. Now think about siege forts. That's what I'm saying, Blue. Like, that shit is hard, man. There is a clock. It's like they couldn't kill in a 5v4, couldn't kill 4 forts in 40 minutes.
You guys mismacroed it and still got Barcode to 10%, but couldn't finish the job. It was 100% winnable.
The take is if they killed
Very
Barcode,
winnable.
say they killed Barcode at like 2 hours 20 minutes, right?
We still might not win.
No, you still win that for sure.
Right?
No, you win that for sure.
No, I don't think.
In an hour and 20? I don't think so.
I don't. No. They have 2 hours 20.
Absolutely.
If you have 40 minutes left, I don't think. I think 40 minutes left.
5v5. That 5v5 that he's talking about earlier was on a T3 capped, right? And it was.
Why the fuck are we talking about that?
Even CC's fort didn't die until what, like 20 minutes left in the fight?
I think it was like at 59 or something like that. 58.
No. We definitely died a little bit earlier than that, but it stalemated practically.
One crow coin!
So we won technically. Crazy.
And maybe this is like my POV. I think a vast majority of the times when these stalemates happen, it's because guilds ego and don't listen, or people aren't actually like calling macro in like a general sense. They're doing like a 1v1v1v1v1v1 set with it. It's
damn it.
There's so many mistakes that happen with these things, and there's ego all the time. One of the biggest throws that I think I've been a part of was the Cerberus Corrupt and Apex fight versus PMA, Barcode, and EQ. That should have been just a body slam win for the Barcode, PMA, EQ side, in my opinion.
You're not talking about it, man. I don't want you to backdoor us. Please.
EQ hitting Apex and Barcode hitting Cerb, and then PMA hitting Corrupt. That was like what a majority of it felt like, or it seemed like to be, at least in the early part. And the early part's not the important. Later,
I also did not know it went that low. Thank you, Witchcraft.
Again, some difference, but no one's disputed it. PMA said, "Hey, Barcode, you're not having the greatest like luck right now with Cerberus," which is fine, you know, whatever. Switch us.
You guys are so toxic.
You know, especially with the
you guys are so fucking toxic. I hate all of you.
Kill them. And then we'll hit Cerberus. And what I was told that Barcode agreed to this, and then PMA left to go hit Cerberus. They planted a flag, they started spawning there, etc. And Barcode said, never mind, we're not going to agree to that mid-play, and instead egoed, I would say, and went to Apex, resulting in Corrupt just being like, oh, everyone's occupied and no one's hitting us. We're going to go kill PMA real quick because they don't have a CTG. And there's a lot of times.
This is now just the Node War podcast. I don't know how I stumbled into this. I don't understand.
So much coke, we fumbled the bag due to the person doing the macroing for us.
And people sometimes agree or don't agree.
I love text-to-speech. I fucking love it. It's one of the best additions to Twitch.
I would say, And
damn it.
cooperate with your fucking teammates. Like Reforged today cooperated with Digital and went into the castle. Menace cooperated with their team and was in a blender. And like that's good. That's sporty. That's how you should be playing. And then you have a bunch of teams who just aren't fucking listening ever. And as a result, it's a stalemate. Bases die so fucking easy. I don't think there's any reason in a 3v3 or higher that they shouldn't end in one side
just got
falling.
Baja blasted
Because
bartering.
you just have like
Everyone is on
push-up
cope
base,
except
especially in the
insert
later
guild
game
here.
when you have
We are
50-second
deaf,
spawn
ethical,
times,
and goated.
The motherfucker dies.
No, the spawn timers don't change.
Are you talking about Node Wars?
Jonah
Siege
Bell,
spawn timers don't
thanks
change.
for the raid, buddy.
Okay.
Siege a little different.
Okay.
If
There's that
recoveries are
shout out.
down,
Thanks, buddy.
it
Everybody
is a
follow me.
50-second
Everybody go
fucking
follow
respawn.
Jonah right now.
Yeah, but if
Your
they're not
recoveries
done,
are
Thanks so
not.
much,
It's
man.
A 5 fucking
Yeah,
second
but
respawn. That is a big
I
deal.
really appreciate
but in
that raid, man.
Siege,
Thank you
right,
so much.
Like you get the benefit, like, and
We're
this is the same in
listening to
Node
some of the
War with
biggest
the
copium
Rico's rebuilding. You get the
that we have
benefit of the
ever heard.
Rico. Right. So
And I just
if I
fucking
have
turboed
someone proxy
myself
me
with
in
a
white,
crow
I just
coin,
have
bro.
to get rebuilds up. I don't have to actually get it to go all the way through, and I get the benefit of the spawn timer.
Do you care people who
+2 with
need help
SOB
with
and everything else.
daily
Like
quests?
you can use SOB instant
sometimes.
respawn, right? And then
Sometimes.
whatever the guild that just pushed on you
Sailing
did
Discord,
significant
though.
damage, you can just push.
Sailing Discord, though, is where you want to go. You want to join the Sailing Discord. And they're always running them.
Barcode could have died with like an hour and a half left, right?
Yep.
Just want to kind of touch on
Yeah,
that.
probably.
Right?
Probably.
I don't know. I don't know if that-
100%.
To be honest, I don't know if
100%.
that fight would have won. Like when I thought about it afterwards, I was like, even if we killed Barcode at even an hour
No
into
shot.
the
You're
fight,
about to make this argument
No
that
way.
you're up.
Here we go.
Oh,
No,
well,
let
guild with-
him cook. Let him cook.
Oh no, wait. Even an hour into it, right? Still having to kill the other guilds. I think that you guys defend that. Like you guys defend that well, right?
I think an hour and a half is kind of being
I think we get turbo.
like too like generous. Like the Digi, I think if it was like 2 hour 20 minutes, Barcode dies, and there's 40 minutes left. I think Digi can probably hold against that. But like an hour and a half, man, there's no way Digi doesn't get kicked out of castle.
Imagine, thanks for that follow,
I
buddy.
think Digi
Hey, girl, hi.
probably shit. I don't know. Digi.
Oh,
Because
look
40
at-
minutes is like
Man, we're
can
really-
go by really fast.
I think it depends on how well EQ and Reforged turtle. Because if EQ and Reforged get kicked quick, like in 20 minutes, then I think Digi's going to get pushed out in time. I think it depends on.
Right. So
EQ would die next after Barcode, just because base positioning. Reforged would like be the hardest base to probably take if you were to
Right,
go off
but
Barcode, like,
Here comes the
realistically, what's
copium.
going to happen
Prepare
there, right, in
yourself.
that scenario, is Digi probably flags over in Saucon somewhere and tries to extend the fight as long as possible because it's in their favor to do so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Reforge just stays in Castle. So like, we're still trying to like, even if we're 3v2ing EQ there, EQ and Digi turtling is still not like an easy 3v2 in that base location if they have a flag there.
What is Digi turtling here? Like, where do we turtle here? We can't get a flag up.
No.
We tried the whole
They
time.
didn't
We never
turtle
had
at
a
all.
flag up in that area for more than 5 minutes. What exactly is Digi turtling here for? I gotta run from fucking Timbuktu to get to Equilibrium space.
Yep.
No, you just put
Your run is a lot shorter than our run.
What?
Sounds
I
like
don't
Gig
know if
Gut
that's
issue.
true. Unless they're equal.
In fact, they're equal.
Identical,
Not equal.
man. From
Yeah.
Castle, because you have to realize like
Not
Medaya
equal.
Castle is really far back. Like if you spawn at Castle,
Yeah, if you
it's,
spawn at Castle,
it's- yeah.
Where else do I
I don't know.
spawn?
Hold on.
I'm not spawning Alta Nova, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
These two lines are different lengths.
No, yeah, your run is definitely shorter than what we
but you don't think realistically that if you were able to like, if you know Barcode's 100% gonna die, right? You get to like set up a flag that you don't go and just put a flag up on the wall that like we don't.
We would 100% put a flag up, and it will 100% get killed like it did the whole siege within 5-10 minutes max.
get backdoored.
Yeah, there's like you already pointed out, it'd be a 3v2 at that point. If I was the macro caller,
how
I would
does
make
it-
sure Digi never got a flag up, and I know Equilibrium would
But I
die.
guess there, right? A flag can't really ever get backdoored if your entire intent is to play around the flag at the base, right? It's different whenever you're not around it. Like we backdoored your, like we traded flags with you at EQ's base one time, right? Like we dropped off the wall, went southwest and killed yours when you killed ours on the wall, right? Like
no, this is.
But if your entire intent is to sit on the wall, barricade, and not actually leave the flag outside of
there's
EQ's
a
base,
Node
it's a
War
lot
podcast.
different of fight, right?
There's a Node War podcast every week. Johnny Five. This is your guy right here. It's the second time I've just shouted him out.
Commanding one, maybe two guilds presence there.
My
Probably
old
two
Moon
guilds
podcast
presence
is on
there.
Tuesday.
Why? If we're sitting in Sarma, you just run by us.
Not Sarma. I'm saying on the wall in Saucons. Like if you put a flag on the wall in Saucons, right?
Yeah,
right
I
outside
know.
of EQ's
Contra,
base,
the amount of
like
copium
20
going on is
meters,
actually on
and you
Olympic
barricade
grade.
up all the stairs there and just sit there.
It's unreal.
Like say Barcode's dead. We still have what?
They're trying to make the case that EQ was held in base solo versus Fate the whole time, but then
EQ reforged
EQ was
your base.
EQ was on offense the whole time too. So I don't.
EQ doing that.
We've gone in circles
As
here.
a
I don't
fellow
know.
barterer, I couldn't imagine getting one crow coin.
300 people slamming it. And if
Yeah,
Digi
right.
ever tries to go to kill one of your flags, you kill our flag.
Right. No, I don't say you ever get to play to kill flags there. I agreed. You sit on your flag and you kill as many people as possible going to their walls. Right. I don't disagree. But I think
A Drunken Leaf just
I think
resubscribed for
you
10
kill
months.
enough people
With
that
how
it
many
extends it
kickbacks
maybe
you're
long
getting
enough. I
off
don't
my
think it's as
pearls,
clear
click
cut as,
something
like,
for me,
we auto
Bloomer.
win that.
I love you, buddy. Thanks so much, man.
If you guys have an hour 30, we
10 months, man.
You guys are
Welcome back.
putting,
Thank you so
like,
much.
Digi way too high up on a pedestal. Like,
You were
it's not going to be
I was going to get
an
us
hour
there.
and a half.
I was
maybe.
leading us there. I was leading us there by the leash to say the only way this happens is if Digi is absolutely rubbing their nuts across everybody. In that situation.
Hold on, one sec. Fucking OBS crash. I hate this program.
You also
Okay,
have
stand by.
like a comp that's great at sitting on a wall. Like you have the most optimized comp to do that.
We had 9 staffs tonight total.
I'm not talking about you.
Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to throw it out there as a fact.
I'm sitting on this wall there. Digi sit on this wall there trying to defend the flag. Just
It's about
push
composition,
equilibrium on the other
but we
side
only
of
had
the
9
base.
staffs.
The other side of the base can't really get. It's not really like a pushable base on the other side, right?
If we're on the north side, it absolutely is. That's the only
Composition,
place I want
Hiram.
to be able to place a flag, right? Unless you're literally saying at the spot you guys placed right.
Yeah,
next to
exactly.
that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you go plant up on that wall,
They did
that
amazing.
base
I'm not
is so
denying
hard
that.
for us to ever do anything to. You sit up there, you barricade that wall. I think you extend at least 30 minutes.
Maybe.
In a 3v2,
Once they
it's
go
like
down, like what happens? And then it's
If that's how it plays out, and it's really hard for you guys to push into that. You slam all 3 guilds into the fucking castle, make Digi go back, then you slam right back over to equilibrium, and you make
have
us
the base
fucking play the
rebuilt, though.
marathon game.
Honestly,
and then they get rebuilt because the shit's so ass.
no, honestly, all
you can always
you
just have
kill
one
the
guild
flag.
currently at castle.
The
too.
audible-
You can always
Kill
have
the
one
flag.
guild at castle.
the
still,
biggest
too. There's nothing
audible
stopping.
that should have happened was that when Corrupt's team realized that the Mutaline Menace could not get anything done on Digi and Castle, they should have pulled Menace out because they're more valuable not pushing the castle. They should have pulled Menace from the castle and replaced Fate. Fate should have gone to the castle, and Menace pulls out, and you guys win this fight every time.
Menace doesn't
Every
feel
time.
like they played as bad as you think,
Well,
though,
no,
right?
I'm not saying they play bad. I'm saying that them being in the castle was a waste of resources, Vipe, and it was. It absolutely was. It's a total
Fate do
waste.
a better job pushing in a castle then?
They do an equivalent job because nothing's getting done. Yeah, they don't even need to do that either. I agree. Stop pushing the castle.
think-
Just run down Barcode, bro.
I still think, I mean, okay, so Blue for this one. On paper, I think we agreed earlier that Menace should be able to push Castle. Do you think it's only a waste because they unsuccessfully were able to do so, or that they should have never even attempted it the
Well,
first place?
guilds have bad days and stuff, and I'm not saying that Menace even necessarily had a bad day, but like when it became obvious that they weren't going to be able to get anything done, you need to trade them out because they're much more useful in the open field. I feel like for sure Menace is able to be worth something, at least a little bit more than Fate is in the open field. You trade with them, it's absolutely right.
I would agree with that. So
They also don't think that they were like. I think your perception of how they did is different than their perception of what they think they got done.
I mean, that's fine. Mine's right, but that's fine.
This argument is circling again, man.
Yeah, like
the same
Again, what I'm
point.
getting in back end is Barcode 7. So from when I'm not moving anywhere, I'm scouting anything. I'm just trusting that my allies are actually going to kill Barcode there.
No, he's talking about the other time, like after the fact, right? After the fact, like because you've been in there basically the entire fight for the most part. So the idea is like, at a certain point, if it's just like you're getting 1 or 2 recos, you should probably calm that, just pull yourself out.
Look, Fate's base was so much strong in such a stronger position than Menace's that I don't know if Fate would have done 10% better, 20% better, 10% worse. I'm not talking about that, but from a base standpoint, Menace was incredibly backdoorable. It's really difficult for them when they keep having to pull back because you can just peggy right in. Fate's base was much better defended, so even if they'll do an even job, right? And then if you guys know these guilds probably better than I do from a siege perspective. If you're saying that Menace is like open field, base pushing, hole poking potential is better, then yeah, you don't want them in castle. Like Fate doesn't have to like do a great job, so much better than Menace. I'm not commenting on their strength, but for what the guild's strengths are, what they're good at doing, if they can skirmish evenly, then you should send Fate over there because they have a stronger base, and Menace probably has more experience, like in the open field with, Ellies and cannons and ballistas.
I'm really surprised you think Fate's base is better, by the way. There's a hole in that base, and there's like multiple rocks you could use to jump in.
You could straight jump in our base from where we were at.
What?
Fate's base is definitely a little bit better.
I thought it was, yeah. It's the,
Okay, I will say 100% that the Menace base could be jumped in. I literally watched EQ jump fully into Menace's base because I was like, oh, there's an EQ ball coming to our base, so I went to follow them, and I watched them all leap off the cliff into Menace's base, or at least most of them.
Oh, Fate had a rock south of it that you could do that from on the gate, and then there was a rock on the west side. Yes, and then there was a rock on the north side. There was multiple. There was a lot of people jumping into that base called Stitley, man. That was awful.
Part of it was the flag spot. Was around Fate. Anywhere that you put a flag, you're either you're either
none of this shit matters. We couldn't play offense anyway. Our team was basically playing defense the whole time.
Yeah.
Or you have to go down and then you can place it on like super cancer spots like around those roads and whatnot. But then they have multiple chokes leading up to that. So it's like that. Whereas Menace had right to the west was
just straight fighting uphill the entire time.
Barcode had a really good flag on us actually.
Caddyshack that you could flag on, but then it's downhill all the way up to a little ramp straight into the route was much better.
That base is tragic. I hate that spot.
That's a terrible base. I do not envy Menace's
to be fair, it's better
what they
than
were
being
told
on the
to do
coast,
and
because
what
on the
they
coast
had
you
to
just get
face.
cannoned to oblivion from Peninsula.
If I can have us revisit the brief Menace in the castle and how effective they were conversation, let's follow this out to its logical conclusion, right? What was Menace's purpose in being in the castle? Is it fair to say it was either to get our base down or to get Digi to have to be on defense, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not baiting that. It's the obvious one. Right?
You just Recos down, so you have like a respawn, so you just get out max.
But we generally agree that goal was not achieved, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing against Menace, but whatever, however good they did or whatever, and they felt they did well, good for them. It doesn't really matter because the goal and strategy was not achieved.
Correct.
Yep. So here's the only other benefit of them being in the castle. They were making Reforged be there and making us have to maybe leave some flex back. If you guys know Menace is stronger than Fate, and Menace wasn't getting the actual main goal done, you could change them and nothing changes, right? Fate still forces Reforged to be there. It still forces us to leave some of our flex back to make sure nothing.
You're also using hindsight without information that they're giving us, because the info we're getting from them is that they are doing enough.
But they weren't.
How many?
Hold on real quick. Artie, was it? Artie was. Well, hold on.
They weren't getting any down.
It was only ever flex.
For Menace, did you relay? Because I know you said that you felt like that you guys should stay in castle because Barcode was dying. So what you were doing?
Good night,
I'm going off what information I'm getting. So if it feels like we're doing,
did you ever relay that? Okay, I guess did you guys know first off, or did you personally know?
I can't wait.
That your guys' goal.
I can't wait until all these people watch my VOD and they realize that they weren't getting anything done. Unless I sent my offense ball away, they were doing nothing. Nothing. They were getting nothing done on digital until I sent my offense ball away to help Barcode. And then when there were 40 reforged, yeah, they got a little bit done, but not as much as they should have. 40 reforged and like Digiflex held them long enough that Barcode got rebuilt and that was it.
That would be a huge W in my opinion. Maybe you can agree on that, but if the entire Digiball was not allowed to leave castle, that would be a huge W for
instantly lose. This would have not even been close, which is why I joked about the whole thing about getting our gates before. It was always irrelevant. If Digi can't be on the field, this is over, right?
Yeah, okay. Of course.
Then with that, if maybe this was like lost somewhere, but I do think that if Menace knows that their goal is to keep Digi at base, or if Digi decides to leave, regardless of other things, they should be killing digital buildings, whether just their stick or maybe even everything else. Because honestly, if Menace, I feel like, was able to just full clear every recov, FT, Hawacha, etc., or for the most part clear them, anytime digital left would have left a lot less, and it probably would have really swayed the weight of things. And to not relay that, even if it seems like other things are working, and I think this might be part of the communications I've talked about earlier and a failure of such, it's still important to relay that, right?
Correct.
If I am trying to
They were embarrassed.
achieve an objective like kill
were
flag or whatever.
They pushed the castle the whole time,
instead of
couldn't get
killing
anything
the
done.
flag, I'm holding EQ
We
to the
allowed
flag.
them to
like,
take
let's say
some
that
recos
for
to
whatever
bait
the
them into
reason,
staying.
That's what's happening.
That was
I need to
intentional.
relay to Soggy as
They-
like
and
a
they
flex
bought
like,
it.
hey,
Hook, line, and sinker.
I'm not killing the EQ flag ever. It's not
Reforged
gonna
wasn't
happen,
even defending
but
the
I'm
castle
holding
when they
EQ
finally
back.
did get
or
the
it's like even like we're just failing to kill the
recos.
flag.
They couldn't
you should just
touch
relay
Digital's base.
we're failing to
They
kill
didn't
the
touch
flag
it.
because it's important to feed that
Not
information
when we were there.
to your allies because as a prior
We
shot
defended it
caller,
too
or I
well.
guess I shot call sometimes for Corrupt. That's super helpful to know, right? Like if I get a call, if I was calling it for Corrupt today,
They
and
fucked up, man.
Menace says, "Hey,
They
we're
were
not
too
making any
prideful.
progress on Digi's base. We're holding Reforged there." I at least would instantly go, "Well, that's a waste of fucking Menace."
Correct.
Because Menace is way
Yes.
stronger than Reforged.
Fuck yeah, Johnny.
Menace should go do elsewhere. But if Menace never relays that, that's a failure on Menace. Because
They
if I
did
never
actually.
hear from Menace,
There's a part that you didn't hear about.
Okay.
When
Corrupt's fault then.
when they were in the castle, right? What was happening is CC would jump because Reforged had a rock next to their base, so we would jump into their base and start gutting everything, and then they would pull their entire
never
guild
lost the
back to try
structure.
to clear us.
We've never
We
lost
would
the structure.
clear
Gutting
and then
everything.
go back
We never even got
offensive onto
SOB
either Barcode
when
or
they
another
pushed
guild,
us.
and it would give Menace time inside of the castle to deal damage to Digi's shit, but Digi would spawn back up at their castle and clear them out of the castle. So it was just
We
like a
never
push and
literally lost
take
a
kind of
It
single-
just pushes us back to outer. This
I
is
just-
literally what's happening. We
sometimes-
get pushed back to
Yeah.
outer, and we have to reset ground, pushing all the way back up to dark.
Okay.
I'm gonna
then
be
they
honest.
just-
Crawling pushed our base, and we never lost a single structure to crawling.
So this is more of like a, and this is probably an inexperienced thing because you guys aren't used to pushing castles, and I get that. But if you guys just all group spawn dark, right? All 100 or 80 of you, whatever's in the castle, right, for Menace, and you guys just don't pull out weapons at all. Did you guys ever try to like?
Yeah,
just
we
do,
didn't
like,
pull weapons out. We usually took gate
try to
side if we
run
didn't pull
through?
weapons.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we blasted
like
them.
just walk underneath their fort in the tunnel through second gate and
They
then
tried.
just pop PA and go to
We
their
tried
base.
it once. It didn't work.
Yep.
How do you guys not just like pop PA and wipe Reforge on the way up to their gate?
Because
there?
Digi
We
had
have
people
4
there.
staffs.
Yeah,
No, we
Digi
have
had. You gotta
7,
realize
bro.
Digi had
Don't
people on
talk to-
defense.
We have like 9 staffs.
And they also
I got
had
4 staffs.
defensive structures.
So-
the defensive structures are huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So so underneath the because underneath the bridge or whatever the hell you want to call it, right? That little soft area that you can be without getting hit by
Talk to me about the number of staffs you have.
That would
Don't
mean
talk to me about the number of
that
staffs.
Reforged
God.
plus digital
What's up,
defense
Artel?
and maybe flex is
Defend my
stronger
honor.
than Menace. I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
just like
No,
the
I got you,
weird
Artel.
math, video
I
math
told
equation
him.
here.
I told him we didn't lose
Do
a
you
shit.
think that it was the thing
I told
of
him.
like
I told him.
Reforged pulled a way higher percentage of that strength than is expected of Reforged in most circumstances, or is like they're
you,
rated
Johnny.
for, or was it a thing of Digital's flex and defense team was absolutely cracked, or was it the opposite end of Menace felt really weak today? And I mean, like, Marty, you
At the end of the day, you're
Menace
pushing
or-
a castle, Johnny. We can go back a couple weeks ago when Corrupt was trying to push us out of
Ooh,
castle
now
for
he's
our
getting
first time
angry.
defending it
Ooh,
ever.
now he's
And
getting
we held
mad.
you guys up to almost 20 minutes
Ooh,
before
he's
We
Stalemate.
would have
Yeah.
won, but we have negative
that's
5
completely
staves.
different than what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
That's
I
completely.
mean,
different.
it's pushing castle at the end of the day regardless.
It
Now
is
he's getting
pushing
mad.
castle and
It make like weaker guilds can perform
I think
better.
they
in
should
castle
1v1
That's a-
Reforged. You know,
I would agree, but
They
it's
should
also
1v1.
Reforged wasn't
No.
castle.
We never said that we
I
want.
think
No,
you
no,
could
no.
win.
What?
You should take it, man. You could win it.
We don't take 1v1s, first of all. Second of all, they're definitely stronger than us. Like, for sure. Like, it's not even a question.
Yeah,
Like, I don't even know what the fuck kind of copium you're on right now.
Because you're fighting essentially 2 guilds inside of the castle with the castle defense, you know. And like I said, every time we would go and pull CC back to their
The
base,
fact that
Digi
they
would
were
full
stronger
spawn
than
up,
us,
and then
and
they would
we
have to
still
deal with
held
Digi's
them
entire main ball
1v1
there.
essentially.
You know what
And then
that
they
sounds
would
like
It's
to me?
embarrassing.
pressure
That
they
sounds
had.
to me like impeccable communication between Reforged
I know
and
you
Digi.
guys did
That's
good.
what
You guys
sounds like to me too.
So
Yep.
Like, at the end of the day, it's a failure just for mismacroing. Like that's literally all it is. Like you guys are 2v1ing Barcode. In no world should you not kill them.
Correct.
Like regardless of what we're doing,
Well,
you
it's
guys
not-
need to kill them.
Correct.
I think it's
Thank you,
not
Menace.
2v1ing Barcode, right? It's we're hitting Barcode, and then like there's also EQ backdooring normally one of our bases, right? There's also like Digi that's roaming, right? Like it's not like so like we're not just out there just pumping shit into Barcode. I promise you, because when Digi came. We made the call where it's like, oh well, Digi's here. We just have to
fucked
send
up,
in the base
but
to what
actually
we can,
we didn't
right?
fuck up
We know
because
we're
of
gonna
these
wipe
list
our
of
flag.
reasons.
Huh?
Both of you guys just unflag and double push Digiball. There's nothing they could do to you, and you guys won't hit each other.
It's not just that though. It was
Barcode's also right in their fort, just gonna pelt us for free. That's not.
Yeah, we were getting hit by more than one guild. Like it wasn't. Yo, I'm telling you.
I mean,
by the time when they killed our flag and our cannon, it took all 4 guilds. Pushing us to
I promise you, and Huntler can attest to this. We were like getting locked up in Sarma because they would sit outside the hole, and then Barcode would proxy outside the hole. Like that shit is not easy just to like push up to the base, have to wipe a guild, and then re-wipe them off the rip, like trying to get into their base. It's not so clear cut as like, oh, we're 2v1 pumping them.
Now
like,
what if I do this?
Digi's there. Digi tried multiple times to come into Sarma to clear the flag.
Now who wins?
They did a few times clear it. Like, it's not like they're just not around and we're just
then at that point, if there's 4 guilds, then you take the 4v4 on their base with us.
Let me do you a favor. Let me hold on.
And stop telling us to hit castle.
This is gonna be it.
Well, the idea is if you have a like.
No, Menace is right. They should have been told to stop hitting castle.
No, sure. You should have been told the CTG, but also like you have to get more done there if you have a free base to hit.
I do think that there was
not a free
failure.
base to hit.
Well, I think it's not just like. I don't know if this is what everyone's doing, but this is like what I'm trying to think.
Tell me
there
who wins
was
this.
multiple blunders from at least the Corrupts team side. Corrupts team should have CTG Barcode. They should have died. Menace, in my opinion, should be able to push Digi's base if Digi only has a defense team and a flex team, assisted by Reforge.
Who wins that?
Menace should win that, in my opinion. Menace has shown better.
Going 50-50 against, even if we go 50-50 against Reforged in Castle, inting those 50 into the next set of like into FTs and into the rest of Digi and the spawning Digi because they didn't have a flag. This is going to kill us regardless. We're not going to get much done. It's going to be a slow burn, and which you guys what it was.
What about like cannons and ballistas or like?
We were told to put our cannons on Barcode.
Especially with Digi in the castle.
Were there cannons on Barcode? Because I know a lot of the time during the war today, there was nothing hitting Barcode.
Oh no, there was.
Had cannons on Barcode,
definitely
and then as soon as Barcode got rebuilt, they swapped them
times, but not all the times.
Because no one is hitting Barcode.
We had full cannon pressure up on them every time we were pushing them in CC.
10%.
But I wasn't handling the macro, so I can't say for what we were told to do.
Nothing's hitting them, but they're 10%.
The other thing that I heard too is that Digital was able to push both Corrupts and Barcode's.
They were never hit. Don't worry about
it. Corrupt had pushed out into Barcode's base, and Digi backdoored the flag. Good play. That's what should be done. And then I don't know if they ball wiped you, Panda, or if they just backdoored your flag in a similar case.
No, they tried to push us. We wiped them. Then they spawned up again at the flag that they had to the north of Barcode, and then this time they came with all 4 guilds. It was fucking like, oh shit.
Okay. So did you guys have cannons on your flag as well?
Yeah, we had cannons and a ballista on our flag.
Okay. So yeah, that's the double-edged sword of having your cannons and ballista on flag, is if you get wiped or backdoored.
I mean, we were doing, and you lose but we were doing good holding it. The problem was when all 4 guilds were free to hit it, and I was like, oh shit.
Okay.
You know.
Right. I guess my thing, right, is if all 4 guilds are there, realistically, and you're still spawning castle, right? If all 4 guilds are there.
Who are you talking about, with us? No.
No. I'm saying like if all 4 guilds are at Barcode, right, and me and you are there, right? Corrupt and CC are there, right? We're at Barcode, right? There has to be a world where like
make this my copy paste.
You get every Rico down and start burning Digi's fort. So if we do swap, it's at least feasible.
Held them in the castle.
Like, because you can't say that like there's no way 15 Digi flex doesn't allow you to get their fort to 50% there.
It's not just 15 Digi flex. It's their flex, defense, and
going
and having to push through castle Reforged defense.
No, Reforged is not there in that scenario because they're at Barcode.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, yeah, that scenario, but that's not what happened.
That's what I'm saying.
No. Police Squadron like literally said that like multiple times he would just have like 2 or 3 plats, right? He's not having all 100 people.
Exactly.
Yes, and when he left, he pushed through and stripped Digi outside of the.
Okay. I guess my maybe this is just a strength assumption, but he gave 3 plats to Barcode.
That's right, Fetch.
In that scenario, when they're 10%.
Fucking PvP.
He's a 100-man guild. I'm gonna allocate.
We will make
20
our
to
PvPers.
Back end of defense, special teams, whatever. So at most, you're dealing with the Platter, Reforge, and Digiflex.
And Digi full spawned after.
No, they are at Barcode's fort.
I'm telling you
the
that
hole.
because when they got stripped, they spawned at base.
Huntler literally said he's sitting in Barcode's hole as we rode by, and we got there 3rd.
Yeah, but Huntler's never with the ball, man. This has been established. Huntler's never with the ball.
So either you're lying or Huntler's lying. Who is it?
I feel incredibly attacked. I can help this. Never with the ball.
I got clips, bro. I got clips. I'm just saying, bro. I got clips of you.
Because I'm going off of Huntler's info here, right? Huntler said that he saw us ride by. We were the third to make it to Castle because we had to clear the EQ CTG, right?
I'm a versatile player. I can play with and without the ball.
So there is like they're proxying Barcode because they're 10%, right? Reforge is also there and EQ's there, right? There has to be a world where if there's one plat of Reforge and Digi Flex that you get Digi down to 50%. You have like at least 3 to 4 full pushes of like that's all you have. Like they don't get back that fast.
I don't actually blame Menace here, and I think you guys are coming to Menace in general. But what happened in this time in particular is it was a slow burn. They did strip most of our structures during this time. It was a calculated sacrifice. What you're not lining up with what happened here was like me watching you guys go by is it was called out in Digi as we're defending Barcode and save Barcode. Hey, these guys are bypassing us. Spawn base. We spawned base. We wiped Menace, but they had stripped a good portion of our base by then. But that was a calculated sacrifice to defend Barcode.
I think the Earls, correct. We sent extra platoons to help Barcode, which of course let Digi bleed out a little bit, but it was just enough to keep Barcode alive. It worked. It was a gamble and it worked.
So yeah, the gift for you guys coming after us, let us just say, okay, let's just defend our base, and we have the defensive advantage at our base.
The thing that Menace or that side, whoever was over there, the benefit to pushing that spot is that you can leave at any time. And Reforged has to, I mean, they don't have their horses at the castle, and their base is just right over there. So, like, at any point in time, you guys can leave, go smash Barcode, and then, you know, go spawn back at your base. Like, did you guys do any of that? Like, any, like, flip-flopping back and forth? Because every time that you leave castle, you leave the entire Reforged force.
I was on the impression Menace was told to stay there, though. So who's at fault here? Is it Menace or the macro?
Johnny Ventus is up top.
Or maybe you overcommit it. Maybe it needs to not be them, but maybe it needs to be like 2 guilds flex teams unflagged, right? And I know the Reforged is there, but then they wouldn't be if it was only like 30 or 40 of them, right? So they can unflag and then it, like.
I mean, if
figure it out.
Ideas.
I get it.
Look at them figure it out. They're stumbling through this.
Oh, here we go.
Look at them. They're getting there. They're getting there. Reforged overperformed. That's all I'm waiting for. That's all I'm waiting for.
So, Barcode lived. That's basically it. Shit macro call. Here we go, boys.
Shit macro. Back on that again.
This has a CTG. This is literally all we have to do the other day was CTG them.
Yeah, all like, you guys could have just told Menace CTG.
Come on.
Yes,
we gotta go back around again.
We didn't tell them not to CTG.
That's what I was told. Is I asked if I need to take my CTG, and they said no. Fate is gonna take it.
Leak the comms. Leak the comms.
Yeah, please leak it. Because I was the one that was in the cross-comm telling them when to go because I called when crawling.
There was 7 different cross-comments from Corrupt tonight, so.
These are everyone on the same team.
Yeah.
Yikes.
These guys were on the same team.
The reason why I think you guys were told not to take the CTG is because they had rebuilt back up to 50% and had all their walls closed. That's why you guys were not told to take the CTG.
Because he has no idea what's going on. God, I love Drift.
At least that's from Alov's point of view.
But weren't they 10%?
When I asked, Fate said they're gonna plant theirs, and Fate took theirs, and then Crawling was pushing Castle with us the next time.
White cheddar cheese.
Yeah, that's
another word about CTG.
Yeah, that's the same time. They got. That's why it's because they were able to rebuild back up to 60% and get all their walls back up, and there was no way for you guys to. You guys could CTG their base, sure, and be inside, but it's not an accurate CTG. You're just gonna get, popped. So that's why I think it was called to be canceled.
RS.
You must be honest, I wish I could eat as angry as you.
Were just floating around Barcode, and there was nothing we could do because they just tapped back up their fort and closed it back up. So it was like, okay.
I guess in hindsight, looking at it from our perspective, right? We burned everything we can. We got Barcode down to 10%, and then we got backdoored, so we have to honor that. So we can't get back to Barcode that fast anyway. Right? We have to we got 3 holes knocked in, and you got CTG down to like 70%. So our thought process is, well, in a perfect world here, you had a free castle. So our Barcode thing, like
we've already convinced over half the call that Reforged played really well tonight. These 2 are still, they're not quite there yet, but they're getting there.
Like the idea is like, well, the Barcode thing sunk. At least try to pivot to where we think you made pressure. And I don't think that's like a bad thought.
Rush Corsair fit in PvP.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong in thinking that, Drift, but that's what I would think, right?
Hado, choose class guy.
I agree.
It's perfect. It lays all that out for you.
Because you're trying to like pivot responsibility on someone else, like kind of doing work, which is like not something you can always like reliably be like, hey, like this person's
Corrupt has a bad case of skill issue. Hashtag trim best
If you
squirrel.
don't trust your teammates, what are we doing, right?
No,
telling
yeah,
you,
that's
cross
the problem with
between
Barcode sub 20.
Trini is a fucking
Yo,
queen, man.
just saying that Reforged
doing the
came out
macro, by the
fucking
way,
swinging
tonight?
and just overperformed, and that it
It wasn't really like some like particular person doing it. Like I got told at one point that shit was going sideways, so I got there an hour late, hopped into TeamSpeak and took over, and I basically went down the line, asked who's doing what and what are you doing, and I told everybody to start doing shit like an hour in.
Who was your original macro caller for Corrupt? Out of curiosity.
The original cross-commer was Dab, and then it was Biz, and then it was
who's
Loyal.
doing the?
They
Who's doing the?
Soggy probably, I imagine, through
that
them.
many times.
So
okay,
So this is like when I was trying to get my shit
Because
set
they
up
couldn't
because
get
I
it
was
done.
like running late. Soggy was telling
Who's the
the
cross bomber?
or whoever it was at
Most
the time
guilds
to
say
like
one
relay
name. He
information
said
to
4.
our allies or to try
That's
to get
crazy.
information from them or to try to
Let him
like
cook.
have them do something. And it
Life was
either
probably too busy
the
calling with
cross-commer
his
saying
mouth
they
full,
don't
and
wanna
they
do
couldn't
that, they're
understand
not willing
him.
to do that, or they're
That's
not
how the
listening.
communication issues
Not
occurred.
from CC side.
I can't say that, you know, obviously I'm not in cross comps. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I was being told, is that like that's
You
what
guys
I
need to
was hearing.
fire Loyal though. I'm gonna be honest.
And if that's like
Wow,
what the
Loyal
caller is
catching
hearing,
strays?
that's not a cross or
Enemy
that's not
catching
a macro
strays
caller.
out here.
If the
Did you guys
macro
see that
caller is like,
shit?
yo, your macro is being
Yo.
donut-walled by your teammates.
Enemy are gamers. I don't hear that shit.
And it's, I don't know. So
I don't think anybody was donut walling anybody. I mean, somebody came in and just started yelling for fucking random ass reasons.
Loyal.
It's like, what are you doing? I have Digi and EQ 2v1ing me right now. What the fuck are you doing?
Why, when asked
like,
who your cross-commer was, did you list like 7 names, dude?
So it was
happened here?
Dabin, and so Dabin was originally the cross-commer, and Soggy was asking him to get stuff done, like, hey, relay this to our teammates, and I need information back. And Soggy wasn't getting what he needed. And I can't blame that on Dabin. I don't know if it was him or if it was the other cross-commers. And so Soggy said, all right, Dabin, get the fuck out of there because you're not dealing the job. Somebody else go do it. And so then Biz went. And then... But Biz had other duties, and so when Loyal was on, Loyal took it over.
Oh,
So, it's three
what
different
about the other
cross-commers
4
saying
people?
3 different things. And
This doesn't sound like you were trusting your allies very much.
There's a lot of times I wouldn't trust allies because I do know that there is sometimes like Barcode who told PMA they would go hit Corrupt and then instead went to Apex.
We won
where
because we
people just
communicated
don't
better
fucking
and
listen to
played
your
better.
comms, and it sucks because war to war, it's like
Standard.
sometimes, you know, Menace will go to Castle and run through the blender for 3 hours, and they're an absolute fucking champ for it. And then sometimes you get
thanks, those
fucking
files.
idiots
Princess
like
and RS.
BC who decide,
You're high,
nah,
thanks, those files.
I'm not gonna do what I agreed to do.
Shot caller dipped
And when you
indeed,
have
Tabby.
that coin flip shit, it's such a pain in the ass.
But it really
to
was
do
guild
macro,
diff.
and I'm not like using
I
this
can't
in
take all that
excuse
credit.
for Corrupt. I think
Trini
Corrupt
was
fucked
fucking
up by
gaming.
not doing CTG.
Trini was fucking gaming. Game stage, super gamer flex lead. Fucking carried the, like, honestly saved the whole fight. Game stage by himself. Obviously, I was playing well. Fucking Apollo on the cannon team doing fucking amazing. Defense team out of their mind, didn't lose a single structure. Crawling pushed us like 50 times. We didn't lose a single structure because our defense lead and our defense team are gamers. Our LE fucking drivers were. Can't even flex hard enough.
One to start should probably never do it again. Just saying.
I mean, in a perfect world,
1v1 for cross-comm rights, bro. Whoever wins the 1v1 gets to yell at other guilds.
You have no choice but to, like, if given the choice between
Crawling
always
pushed us,
distrust
like,
allies
at
and play
least
as if they
20
don't know
or
what they're
30
doing,
times.
or always trust allies and assume they know
At
what
least.
they're doing, like, you
And
should
we never
trust
even
them,
got SOB
because
pushing them off the base. They didn't even kill the
otherwise,
structure.
like, if you trust them and then they fuck up, then
Gone,
they'll get like a
flattened.
bad rap,
It's
right?
really
like
weird.
That's kind of on the
Shouldn't
community
have
to be
happened.
like,
They're stronger than us.
chastise them. I mean, that's what the podcast is for, right? Like, if you go in there and you're like, why'd you guys
Fucking
lose?
asses
It's like,
you up
well,
right now. God, my dick is
you know,
so
I'm not
hard.
saying you have to like share
all
comms or
of this
share like
gasses
there's
me
some
up.
things that should be kept
Just
private.
listen to the
but
copium
at the end of the
loads.
day,
Just
like
listen
if
to
somebody
it.
just doesn't
Good.
listen or somebody says they're somewhere and they're not, then that should go into their strength ranking.
cooking.
I mean, for team fights, right?
They're
Like if you're doing 1v1s and it's whatever, who gives a fuck?
I mean, nobody
The
really
thing
even
is that
knew
people-
what this. Also, nobody knew what the strength of Ventus was even going to be this time, right? Because it's a brand
I
new
love how they
Ventus.
said Ventus and
First seed,
completely
right?
ignored,
Together?
muted, and
Menace.
pissed. Oh, that's even better.
That's what I meant. Or Ventus. What,
God
yeah,
damn,
you know
I
what
want what
It's
these guys
the
are
Alliance,
smoking,
the
bro.
Ventus Alliance.
I mean,
K-E-W.
that's
I have the
accounted
same
for
problem
in team
too.
balances,
There's
right?
some
like,
conscious stuff
for
going on right there.
example, like I mean, when the Diplos talk and they're like setting up seeds, right?
That's
They may
weird.
not say this to each
Why
other.
you just said
but
Ventus
they
instead of
vote
Menace?
on those
I'd
teams
like to
based on
explore
like,
that.
oh, so and so's on our team. You know, like let's assume that like
my girl Kayla.
Guild A and Guild B are of equal strength in a 1v1, and they would stalemate. But Guild A, every time they have a cross counter that goes in there and talks to you, that listens to you.
Queen.
Like you're gonna be like, put us on their team, and like because you know that they're gonna you're gonna have an
I mean,
Super Gamer Awakening wins.
Yeah,
We
you
love
know
Kalia.
everybody's strength
better.
Thanks for
no,
that.
I don't disagree, right?
Coming
Like,
over, listen
if
to
I
this
need
Copium
to
is so good.
play run
This
it
is
down
amazing.
BDO really fast, I'm taking Digi as an ally over Cho. But if I just want raw strength, I'm taking Cho over Digi.
Did you guys hear that?
Like, yeah, you played everybody's strengths, but they both, I would say, are equally
you rank
competent
them, Gil?
cross-comming. So I don't necessarily know that that's like a thing where strengths should differ. I think I agree. You should try to play around people's strengths, but I don't think like cross-comming shouldn't be something where there is a strength difference. I guess
I'll
is
be
where I
honest with
stand.
you. I've been in cross comms with these guilds enough times that when I'm in cross comms with Digi, Loads will listen to me. If I have a suggestion, Loads will listen and they will pivot, and that's why we worked really well together tonight. We communicated really well. I've also been on teams with Corrupt where I swear to God, no matter what I said or tried to reason with them, Corrupt just would not. They just ran it down.
All right. Just full disclosure. Are you not biased?
What do you mean? What do you mean biased?
Like,
I'm literally a third-party guild. I've worked with both guilds, and I'm saying that Digi is definitely easier to cross.
But you are biased. You are biased because we were in an alliance, and then we're no longer in an alliance, and it ended on bad terms, right? Like
it didn't end on bad terms.
Okay.
I just know
we're both
doing
we
appreciate it. You will be getting your castle shortly. Well done.
I just know Corrupt and Digi also just ego
just
fights a lot.
The fuck?
But Corrupt has a problem to ego a lot more fights, and that is very true.
Yeah. Corrupt just likes to
What do you
macro
mean
in
by
these
ego
fights, bro. It
fights?
drives me nuts. No, they won't listen to reason.
Listen. Yeah.
They don't
Well,
listen.
it's also
we're like audible,
okay, so-
Soggy, and he's like, stick to plan A. We're audibling to plan A. But Commander, that's the same plan we've been doing the whole time, and it's not working. Plan A, and they just run it down until you lose. It's annoying. It's happened a million times.
A lot of the time, it does feel like when like something is working or something seems to be. So this is something that I've seen like from our back end, like being in Corrupt and whatnot. And I can't attest to it every single time, but there's some times where like we'll say to do something, or I say we, but I mean Soggy. We'll say to do something, or something is like called, and it's like working from some end, but somebody else in the alliance is not seeing that happen, or doesn't believe it's happening. Like maybe it's a difference of opinion or just a difference of information, and they'll be like, "No, we shouldn't do that anymore." And then I feel like a majority of the time they're not like putting up their argument, getting rebutted, and then just going back to plan A. They're putting up the rebuttal and then just doing the rebuttal, and it's like, okay, well now no one's on the same page anymore. And I think this is similar to what a lot of shot callers say of like, if you disagree with the shot caller, and this is why I've stated that we need to designate a macro caller for like whoever it is for a team per day, and that whoever the macro caller is makes the macro calls.
Okay.
People can give suggestions just like with a normal main bulk caller, but if the normal main bulk caller tells you to shut the fuck up, then shut the fuck up and run it down mid. And if the war ends horribly because your macro caller sucks ass, don't make him a macro caller anymore and move on from it.
So the problem, the problem with that is that if you have one macro caller, all of these guilds don't get a say. It's just one guy that basically says what to do and they do it. That's basically what Corrupt does in their team fights. It's what we say or the highway. No one else gets a say. And that is fine most of the time because Soggy's really good at macroing most of the time. But some of the times in these big team fights, he just doesn't have all the information, or he's just like, normally it's because he just doesn't understand what's going on outside of what's going on his screen, because he's just not getting all the information. And when things are suggested to him, because again, this is a team, when things are suggested to him, he disregards and he continues on plan A. Okay, so Corrupt does this all the time. It's very frustrating. It's a team. You got to listen to your teammates.
Into that?
Go ahead.
So I can tell you for a fact, because I've watched some of your guys' VODs where some of the comms were streamed, sometimes your cross-commer, and this goes for many guilds, will not relay all the information. They leave out information constantly on your shot caller, and it's pretty toxic. I'm not going to lie.
Talking about Corrupt right now?
I'm talking about many guilds. Many guilds I've worked with in the past.
Say their name.
He dodged it. Yeah, no, he dodged it.
I'm not gonna
Honestly,
join
you
one
could
of
say
them.
every guild. You could say every guild. Every guild does this. Every guild.
You guys are reading into that. The telephone game, shit like that happens, right?
It's
Fucking agent in the Matrix.
but it's
Dodging that question, bro.
There's certain information that's very, very important that gets left out. Like, for example, all right, I'll say this, right? Johnny, in that last 5v5 that we had, nobody,
He's backing me up.
and when I say nobody on the team knew that you guys were at 30%. Not a single person knew.
That's a
and when you guys called it out, we couldn't save you fast enough because nobody was there.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Too. Same thing with corrupt. They just don't say anything until they're too low.
So I and maybe I wish Barcode was in here but Barcode clearly heard it because Barcode got there immediately.
No, Barcode is the one who told us in cross-comms that they were 30% because they assumed that one of the guilds had to be offense because they didn't know where all the enemies were, and we were still rebuilding our base. And if I would have known that you guys were getting hit by 4 guilds, I would have immediately went to you guys.
Barcode
I would have backed the base.
You said fuck Viz and you hate everything about him.
I agree.
Anonymous gifter. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Gifting the T1 subs. I really appreciate that, guys. Welcome to the squad.
Your cross-commerce should not be yesed up in the war.
Their
ever.
defense.
Hey, I did it.
I heard about something that it was like a fucking watch, and it was like,
yeah, the only time your cross-commerce should be yesed up is if they are in an FT. Because if they're
in the channel,
shouldn't be an FT.
No, your cross-commerce should be in the ball.
Thanks so much, buddy.
No, your
really appreciate it.
Draco, welcome. Cross-commerce should be like sitting in a building, getting the information from other people, and watching your streams.
Can I put my statement out? Yo, your cross-commerce needs to be in the main ball. It needs to be playing either a tanky class or a healing class because they need to see what's going on so they can relay information back. And I don't know if Vipe can say for this for Alov, but she relays a fuck ton of information back about what's going on in the fight and like
Alov's really good at that. Yeah,
like there's like there's times, right? So like for example tonight when I took over cross comms hour 10 or whatever, right? Like Digi was outside of our base and this was whenever you guys said that you were like burning whatever. So like Fate was gonna come screen him and kill them. Right? They were gonna like come kill the flag and like basically run it down into Digi 3 times, wipe him out, whatever, right? And I told Fate not to kill them, and Fate can attest to that because you guys said you were burning them. And then I never got any update from you, so then I just have Digi at my fort. And I'm like, I mean, maybe I should handhold a little bit more there, but like, you said you're burning Digi, so I don't intentionally wipe Digi to go home.
No, that's where the cross communication had happened. That was false because that was one of our canon team that had said, "Oh, their base is going down," and she had said, "Oh, we're gutting it." And I said, "No, tell them we're not gutting it. We're just doing stick damage right now. That's it." And I think she had corrected it, but I think Loyal was fucking losing it.
No, this was like later in the war.
Yeah, this was like, at the very end. This was almost at the very end. Yeah.
No, this was like just subscribe. I don't know, maybe an hour left in the war or something. Yeah. And like,
this is after we did the shit we did to Barcode. Yeah. And
Menace told me that they were like burning Digi.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a fact. Yeah.
Maybe followed and immediately
so Fate was gonna come over proxy because I had EQ with the flag on me and Digi who flagged on me, right? And we're at 50%. Digi knows that they can go for a kill. So. And they have a full ball there, and I intentionally didn't have Fate help wipe them because you guys said you were burning them. If I would have known that, I would have sent them home.
Run the tier list.
30 minutes
English
left,
rogue.
because at this point we are back at base fighting EQ flag.
Shumukras, yeah, we're gaming it.
No,
we weren't there. Yes,
because we had a monster siege.
Bro, you were in the castle.
Man. He's stumbling through it, man. He still has it. Just admit it. Fucking
we did
reforged,
3 pushes
overperformed. Just say it, Vibe. God, I'm so fucking close, Vibe.
You said you got them down to 75%.
Come on, right there,
I said
buddy.
80.
Come on,
80, 85 when they were full stripped, and that is a factual statement. They were stripped outside of the 2 watches in the tower and the supply depot.
Right. So if I have EQ and Digi there, and it's me and Fate at our base, the thought process is you should probably be winning.
This what I'm talking about when this happened.
Back down to the macro
was right
call
after
again.
you lost pressure on
God. Oh my God.
No,
we're palming it.
Gutted
we're palming it.
That's because all the guilds came to screen Barcode. Is when they did that.
No. This is a different time. I was told that you guys are in castle hitting Digi, and Digi is outside of our base.
That was CC. That was not me.
Yeah.
Well,
cross commerce for one guild, they still couldn't get it right. Goddamn.
He's still fucking it up. Look at it.
I mean, I couldn't help but laugh myself about this. Think about it. You guys were all talking about what a cross commerce should do, and none of you agreed. And then I'm here sitting thinking, and
they just couldn't find the shot caller to outplay the blows tonight. Blue votes tonight.
You at least named
with
4.
Conja.
That's like part of the issue. Is like everyone just has.
I'm pretty sure was calling for Barcode.
Not even just in corrupt, but like just in a general thing.
Yeah, it's every guild.
Corrupt or cross comms. I love this. And that's like an issue. With the cross comms.
I mean, on any given night, right? It's whoever's willing to do it for any guild. Like, if the person's there, like that shit swaps for every guild.
Unless I
explain
can't
why
I'm the only one that does it.
Menace for cut up all stage in the moment.
How hard did they push for you guys to be?
And they call back out.
Was it like you volunteered and you're like, we could do this?
It was easy pickings.
Or
Menace comes out of castle, they win.
Was it dictated?
I'm not even joking.
Because I feel like
Corrupt kept telling him run it down, and Menace is like, okay, like I don't know, dude. It's not even Menace's fault, bro.
Castle?
Yeah, like the castle, but like how does it decide? Like, let me. My point is that sometimes I feel like
so I think it was like, if I remember correctly, it was the
in
macro
that
plan
blown
from the start.
Okay.
I think it was the macro plan from the start. It wasn't necessary for us. It was.
Thanks us 5 gifters, man.
We were the farthest guild back.
Dead Kai, Anpan, Rylock, Silencer, and Kulkapip. Welcome to the squadron, boys. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that.
I guess this
Thank you.
Because it's what they want us to do.
This right here is why I fucking love Black Desert Man. Like, goddamn, the delusion in this comms is so fucking funny.
I know! Like, I mean, the rest of it is what it is. I still think no matter what, you should relay what's happening on your side. I don't know. I would.
What do you mean? I am.
Are you
subscribed? I said we're slow burning them. We're not getting much done, but we're slow burning them.
No, but like you need.
Today I learned
I feel like what you should do is like it's all for you. It's all a Rico game, right? Realistically, that's all you should be focused on. What you're doing there. Agreed.
Is inting in and trying to get recos, yes, which was exactly what we're trying to do.
Corrupt
okay, so like I feel like it's just like a status update on how many recos they have, and from there everybody can make the decision it's not really working because like they still have 7-second spawn timers and we pivot.
I think assuming that people can understand that though, Vipe, on like it is or isn't working is kind of like just assuming you're making an ass out of you and me, especially with us not trusting my teammates.
No. But if you say you are slow burning something, that means you're winning.
It was a slow burn. It's exactly what it was. It was a slow burn.
Well, I'm getting told a different story that basically it's never like they just go back and they insta reset you in one spawn.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah, Digi would spawn back if we ever did like actually get them to the point where they needed to, or you guys killed the flag. They would spawn back and then push us back, and then immediately get stuff rebuilt or get stuff tapped up to where they need to, and then go on offense again.
Because you guys took down significant amount of recos, and I know you guys did a shit ton.
We got almost, like I said, we got their base pretty much completely stripped outside of the 2 watches in the tower and whatever else was up there. Pretty sure there was a supply.
Yeah, and this is when they sacked everything to save Barcode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they spawned back up, and then they were in castle for quite a bit because we got pushed back to outer, and we were still spawning outer.
This is when we were trying to get pressure on Barcode, and Barcode had.
And then this is after you guys flipped and you guys came to castle with us, and then both guilds got.
So I guess my question here, right, and this is just I don't know, maybe this is more of a micro thing for you guys. If you guys did have Digi all spawn back, did you guys ever just try to like jump out on the bridge and just hold them in the castle so they couldn't ride back out?
In no world do we ever hold Digi.
Yeah, what? Like, why would you say?
No.
They could try it. They could try it.
No, because you still get to keep castle spawn there, right? So they have 2 decisions. They either come out on foot and they have to full wipe. So you're extending, right?
So what happens?
You're buying time. I'm not saying you're like when I say hold them, it's not you need to win the fight there. You just need to keep them around there.
He's not wrong. He can just stand on the bridge, put a bunch of flame traps and shit down.
Digi's camping on inner spawn.
Digi can't get out of their base. They'd have to wipe through them, then get on their horses.
Sitting in there. So we spawn outer, and
he's
then
not
they're
wrong.
camping
But
us on
also,
outer. And
he's wrong.
As soon as supply went up, Digi was back.
Because Menace should never have been in the castle. He's fucking idiot.
Then Reforged would regain their positioning back on dark.
I mean, how long does it take for a supply to get up? A minute?
Okay, so
maybe?
Regain our position?
One thing I am confused about. So when Digiball
we had that shit the whole time.
How can you be held at both inner and outer at the same time?
Don't even have depth.
Because that means Reforged has got to be in dark.
We're not getting held at inner and outer.
I feel like fucking Elmo, bro.
When Reforged is there, we're getting held outside of dark, and then whatever's in there is getting inting in the back. Whatever can get through is inting in the back on Digi base.
Okay, so if Reforged is there, go like.
Look at him put it together. Hold on.
And if it's
that's what we were doing.
Okay.
Hold on,
so you were getting held by just
Give it a minute.
There's no way
Hold
that
on. Let's go
Reforge
through-
is holding
Whoa.
Dark Room while also holding the top.
Yeah.
Unless you're saying digital is holding the top solo, in which case there's no way a digital flex and defense should be able to hold you.
We're getting there.
They were holding
range
Dark
on the
Roof
roof.
and Dark Room.
They had their range on the roof and their melee inside inside the room, and that was the hold.
Or
It's almost like we played it amazing.
Digi had their
Digi Flex was on the left side.
Okay.
Yeah, and Digiflex was behind second gate and up near the base. Plus their equipment. Their equipment was already hitting
How are
second
them
gate
dry
if you went
ass
to the
chips,
bottom.
my
Digiflex
G?
was enough to hold if we tried to push that side. I mean, if we did a full, we probably should have done maybe 1 or 2 full pushes on left side and try to take roof control that way and then push melees through Dark Room afterwards. But like for the most part, if we went left with what we were sending left, like we sent our flex left or we sent a plat left, they're just going to get farmed by the Digi camping that side.
Plus, too, another thing that's not being taken into account is how many people did you guys sacrifice for cannon defense, by the way? I was going to ask that.
I don't know what our cannon team was like. I think
They're getting there.
I have to look at signups, but I think our cannon team was kind of like
telling
that. I don't know.
What about defense?
You didn't
though?
get any progress?
Who was killing your guys' cannon
But that means
team
that
tonight?
I'm assuming it was just whoever's doing
holding me?
anti-cannon on
It
Barcode.
was, I think.
From what I heard, it was
I just want the dawn.
From what I heard,
I
it was
want the
EP was doing a
sun
full
to
drive
come
by,
over
like
the
while they were
range
going to
and
go hit
dawn
the base or
on
while they
this
were roaming
fucking
around.
copium.
And I think our flex was roaming, killing flags off like they were trying to backdoor base.
All right, maybe this is also like on us, but I just thought it was more obvious. I should have said, but like if we have like the fucking Giga Juicer flag and Sarma that like Digi and Barcode like have to basically double push to wipe, why don't you guys just roll your cannons on top of where our cannons are in Sarma?
All right, maybe
My brother
it's
in
Corrupt's
Christ,
fault.
you were trying to
Maybe.
literally
Maybe.
micromanage
Hold on.
everything about this
But
siege that
maybe
could have been
I'm
Why
different,
can't
and you
people
think it's
say they
somehow gonna
fucked up
change
and
it?
it's stuff they need to work on? How hard is it to understand I made a bad
I
macro
literally just
play
heard
B?
you on
If you
Menace.
can't find
We're
cannons
pulling
from a
them.
guild, you
Sacrificing
should
too many
probably
people for
find new
cannons.
anti-cannon
Well,
C.
why
If
weren't you
people
doing
can't
it?
understand
We're
that a
trying to
no
ask
gear
that.
score guild
Just general.
pulled second and overplayed, fix y'all shit.
Goddamn list here, man. I'm keeping notes.
I know, right?
Well, maybe instead, if you weren't making so much progress on the recoveries, why didn't you guys hop out to the bridge and try to hold Digi in the
Does
castle?
anyone have bingo yet?
Like, my brother in Christ, it is Menace. No offense to Menace, but like, what
Does
do you
anyone
expect him to
have
do? Spawn
excuse
outer,
bingo
jump
yet?
off of
I
the
feel like
gate,
we have to have
down,
it. The whole
run
board
to the
is covered.
bridge, not lose people, and then somehow hold Digi for more than 10 seconds.
I don't know why
Then
you
I
guys
said,
didn't
why
go
didn't
ahead
you
and
roll
kill
your
digital.
cannons to our spot? Like, these are such little things
What
that like
what's happening?
This feels
The
like it's
enemy
become a
team
little bit of
lost
a
and
Menace
they're trying to- they're
Inquisition.
trying to
And
figure out why.
God, if you had asked me from the beginning of this siege, before it ever even happened, would Menace be able to do what your strategy wanted them to do against Digiflex and structures with Reforged? My answer, maybe I'm the only one, would have been no shot in hell. And somehow
Absolutely.
we are picking apart their game plan here as if that was the problem.
So
God,
I can't
yes,
speak for
Butler,
others.
Yes. Oh, God,
I
it's
can't
so good.
speak for others, but for a lot of the reasons I'm specifically asking the questions I am for Artie or Menace in general is because it's less obvious on like if there was an issue and if it was why
I'm
to
giving him a shout out
identify
for that.
versus like the corrupt blunder. The corrupt blunder was that we just didn't fucking CTG Barcode.
What?
That was stupid as shit.
What?
Same
Look,
thing with
there were like
crawling, in
11.
my opinion. I don't think you guys CTG'd either. Am I correct, Panda?
No, they did. They got what? Or no, you didn't.
I think
We did not
Fate and
CTG,
us are the
no.
only ones that
Nobody
did not
CTG,
CTG?
because
Okay,
nobody
there was
communicated.
that was the
Fate
mistake from both of those
You
guilds. There
CTG,
might have
right?
been more. I don't know. We didn't go over those, but I do
Right?
know that for at least that instance
the
or that
Anakin
scenario
meme.
that we're looking
And
at
then-
or that
and then
part
you
of the war,
CTG, right?
that was those two guilds' blunder. That was a huge fuck up.
Right?
That was super easily identifiable. So I moved on. The Menace thing was I was trying to identify if there was a fuck
dude.
up. So now, if Menace
We
just
didn't fuck up, though.
lost the push
We only
to
fucked up once, though.
Reforged and Digi because maybe it was a combination of Reforge and Digi played out of their minds, or
no,
Menace
say it.
played below that
Say
they
it.
normally
Say it.
should have,
Oh, God.
or normally
I'm so
do
close.
rather.
I'm so close.
If it can be a combination or one at the other. It is what it is. That's fine. But if Menace, this is why I was trying to pick
right
at
there.
it because it seemed like there was 1,000 things
No.
said, and I wanted to clarify on it.
No, we're
if
palming
Artie,
again.
the cross-commer,
No.
was relaying, hey, this is exactly what's happening at our part of the war. The progress we're making, we're doing
Team fights
this.
isn't base HP or
we're
anything.
taking the recovs. We're
main
doing the
problem
slow
with-
burn.
The main issue with team fights isn't to just base HP or anything. It's teams not understanding how macro works. Exactly, and not understanding how to work together. Perfectly said, Kanja. Absolutely. Absolutely. Perfect.
Recoveries. Where were your cannons?
Yeah.
How many people did you have in your cannons? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you
Yep.
do that?
Yep.
I'm just like, of all the things that happened in this siege, we're getting to a
It's
level
really
of
obvious.
detail where it was becoming irrelevant.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I'm not envy the job given Menace.
We're literally talking about canon
this
teams
group
now.
has
That
already
was the
decided
difference.
to blame
It's the
Menace,
canon
and now we're
teams.
just like with a magnifying glass being, let me find where these motherfuckers screwed up.
That's definitely not who got blamed in this fight. I don't know what side you're on.
I can't speak for Vipe or Panda on this
Thank
because
you,
I'm
Luke.
not them. But when I was talking, you said let me cook, Huntler. I was trying to say I agree with you on the saying that Menace should roll their cannons up to ours or do these like little micromanagement things. I think that's too much of an expectation.
Why are we talking about cannons?
Macro play.
What?
I don't think that's fair to put on Menace for those. I don't think it is.
I love it.
I think it's fair to only see what they did,
That's the reason
and
we
if what
lost.
they did was a mistake, not what they could have done. Because we could have done things, right?
That wasn't the reason I'd asked the question, by the way. The reason I asked the question is to show that they were doing more than expected of them, right? Like they were effectively pushing castle and also cannoning and also expected to hold the cannon.
They realized that they couldn't get through Reforged, they should have just pulled. They just should have just pulled them out of the castle and just pushed down Barcode. That's it. It's as simple as that. Pushing the castle was the only losing play, and they made it. Once the second gate was down, they didn't even have to touch it anymore. Idiots. Schisms used to tell me that in Vertex all the time. The only losing play is to push the castle here, Blue. I fucked up with it too before, but I admitted it.
More than enough information, and the information is very detailed and thorough.
I think the important part, especially when you have like this strength difference of guilds, is if guilds are doing as planned, and whether they're successful or not or in between, they're relaying their information to their teammates. That's like what is important, right? Like if
I already said it.
If Menace is told,
I've said it 3 times.
Castle for 3 hours.
I can't say it anymore. I'm blue in the face, man. I've said it a million times.
To kill digital recovs, and they don't kill any. Let's say you guys didn't do shit, right? You just got hard farmed in Darkroom the entire time.
No, people have egos.
But you relayed, hey,
people
this
aren't
is what
dumb.
you're
People
doing.
have egos.
This is what we're doing,
and Corrupt
you're
tried
just
to
told,
ego
keep doing
macro the fight.
That's not a blunder on
Cycled
Menace. I don't
4
think that's
people
ever a
through their
mistake on
cross
Menace. I
comms
think
because they
Menace
just
is
couldn't get it right.
perfectly in the clear at that point.
And that's
and
the
that's
reason
not
that they're
what happened, but I'm
losing
just
is
saying, like,
Corrupt
that's
is
the most
fumbling
extreme.
hard
Did you guys
in their
ever
cross
flag
comms.
south with crawling though?
Oh, here we
like
fucking
when
go,
I told
dude.
you guys to.
Oh,
and
here we
flagged
fucking
on the
go.
peninsula.
They couldn't possibly be that. It couldn't possibly be
flag
Corrupt.
when we wanted to
way.
run it down all in Barcode, we flagged behind Sarma.
I just started beating out 2 days. Got to quit for 6 years. Llama, welcome back, buddy. Make sure you join the YouTube too. We're pumping out content there.
Hey,
I was wondering whose flag that was.
Hey, Menace, did you guys full buff for this one?
Could be full buff.
Yeah, did you run buffs?
Corrupt.
Like,
make sure to have.
You guys get crit buff.
Make sure you have. Make sure you have.
Did you run your AP enhancers? If you would have done that, maybe you would have killed Digital.
What about your food buff? Did you guys make sure?
Yeah, I think we had like maybe like 60% participation in food rotation. You know, I don't know.
That's brutal. Man, that's brutal. Let's see what they say.
Did you make platoons?
Space me.
Big platoons.
As I said before.
Hunter, that's where they fucked up by making platoons. They should have done parties.
We're doing parties to optimize party elixirs, you know? Maybe we should try something different.
Guys, as I said before, like 30 minutes ago, it was the fault of the macro caller.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just
that's
macro diff, but...
Well, macro is like a team thing, right? Like...
No,
definitely not.
That was my
Definitely not.
Sometimes it is. And
Not
sometimes
with
it's
Corrupt, it
dictated to
isn't.
you.
Not with Corrupt, it isn't.
It's
On
a
our
team.
it
Okay,
was.
so we've gone back and forth on this, and now both people have said like both things. It's a macro caller's fault if people listen to the macro calls. But if people aren't listening to the macro calls or not receiving the macro calls, then it's either a cross-commer fault or another teammate's caller's fault, right? Like if the caller from your teammate is getting the call from like Soggy, right? Like if the Menace caller or the fake caller or the calling caller was hearing what Soggy asked and say, no, fuck you, Soggy, and did their own thing, then that's their fault, not Soggy's.
Honestly,
if it's an instance of like
at a certain point, if you're digging a hole
said, and
you reach the equator, and you literally reach the equator, you go through the center of the earth. At a certain point, you just have to ask, shouldn't I just keep digging?
Failed to relay that information, or
that's where we're at right now.
Information or change that.
You know what I mean?
Then it's that cross-commer's fault.
Like it's just easier to just keep
so
digging. You know what I mean?
Telephone games.
Regardless,
it's so frustrating.
I mean, at the end of the day, just be like Digi's cross-commer. That dude tells you when a guild blows a 200 on them. That dude's a goat. I don't know who it is. I think it's something this, but
loyal.
No, Digi's isn't loyal.
Oh, sorry. No, I thought you were talking about you. Like, never mind.
Nah, Digi's cross commerce. Go. I like that guy. I don't know who it
That's
is,
right.
but he
Yeah,
tells
he
me
wasn't-
when Zerkers blow 200 on them.
Yep.
And who that Zerker is.
Yep. Trinity's cross-comming for
but I'm saying,
reports
like,
is goaded too.
Every guild listens on corrupt side, so that's a macro calling point. That's all it was.
It's just macro.
Yo, Vibe, all I'm gonna say is, if Trini wanted me to move the way he wanted me to move, I needed a fucking well at everybody's base, bro. That's the only thing I gotta say, dude.
When Barcode was dying,
Loyal?
there should have been a call for every guild to place the CTG on
What?
Barcode, and Barcode won't live.
What did he just say?
Reforges that castle.
Yeah.
Is Drift
Reforged
listening
wasn't
to
a
the
castle.
conversation? Is
They
his
came
monitor
over,
on?
like,
All guilds run off
Does
fence
anyone
on
know?
Barcode when the time was to CTG.
So when
I mean,
Barcode
even
was
then,
at 10
even with times of CTG,
Checked it
all
3
4
times.
guilds need to be there.
Then he said he didn't trust what
Yeah.
people were saying.
And
Doesn't
when
matter what people
Barcode
say if your macro crawlers
when
don't listen to
Barcode was
anyone.
at
There it is.
10% I'm just trying to get the timeline right. Was that when we
Called
got
Trini
hit
a
by
dude.
the CTGs?
Yeah, it's because he's a fucking idiot.
No, so what? Well,
No,
a
yeah,
little
you guys got
after,
hit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened?
He calls everyone
was
dude.
We sacked our
Drip
flag
Panda
to
says
push him
dude
to get
every
them down
third
to
word.
10, right? Crawling had
can count the
basically
amount of
one more
dudes.
delayed
We
push
used to
from
do
the
it-
south because
We used to do it in Legatum.
Digi
We used to
also
count the
threw
amount
their
of
flag,
dudes that he would
right?
say
So
while he
they-
was calling
they
for a
killed our
Node War
flag, then they
siege.
went south
It
to
was
kill
called
Crawling's
duding.
flag, right?
I'm not even
And they
joking.
went and
That's
sat
like
in front of a
it was a thing that we would do.
So the plan, like I thought the CTG was on.
I love Drift.
Right.
I think he's great at motivating people. Sometimes though, he has some hot takes, man.
iframe and it was whatever, right? So he wanted like run in, right? PA run in, right? So I was told like basically like
Run
Crawling
in.
went in
Hey,
and
girl,
they
hey,
probably
thanks for that
got
follow,
I
buddy.
don't know
Thanks for all
maybe
the follows.
50
Maybe
something
I've missed,
people
guys.
actually into
Too
the
much
fort,
content happening.
right? When Barcode was 10%, and then I basically told him when they wiped and we took it, right? The problem was is that Digi sitting right where we CTG. So we get insta wiped. We don't even make it.
Here
right?
comes more copium. We gotta bring.
Yeah.
We gotta edge me back
So,
down. I was getting too close to finishing.
In hindsight, everything should have been on the stick, and that's just a fuck up of where we put the CTG. Because like, I think at that point,
Still
if
not
we
admitting
we go in there,
Still not admitting
Digi
it,
they're
but-
too
but-
low. Digi can't go into the fort to clear. Right? That's just true.
We're still not there yet.
And like, we probably get another, I don't know, 3 to 4% with like a PA CTG. I don't think we kill them, but it's enough
SG
that
and
like.
Bright. Hey girl, hey, thanks that follow,
I think
buddy.
Crawling at least gets back there, and like other people can CTG. We fucked it up, and then they immediately plugged because they used the shitty fence that goes up immediately and tapped up within 2 minutes to 50% because the new shit is
3
stupid.
in the fucking morning.
Wasn't even
we are
2 minutes.
Still trying to get corrupt.
That new
To
stone
just
is like
say that
stupid
Reforged
though. It
played
makes shit so
above-
much harder than
above
it
where
needs
they
to
were
be.
supposed to.
Like,
It's 3:30.
yeah, we fucked up, but also like that should not be a thing in the game.
It's 3 o'clock.
And it happens in Node War too. Like
That's
the fact that
insane.
you can like rebuild a full base in Node War in like 3 minutes is crazy. Like full
Well,
rebuild.
Look at that 5v5. I think we.
Like Vaga did, right? Like Vaga full
Well, I
rebuild
mean, we did
in
it
like
too. We
what are
all
we
of us
talking about
tapped,
now?
and like in 20 seconds we were back to like almost 85 with
What are we
just one
talking
round of
about right
taps.
Yeah.
yeah.
And like, fuck that freaking
Hour 40 of waiting. Honestly,
CTG, the new
This
shit
has
is
got to be
OP.
doing irreparable damage to my penis.
No, because this cheese is fuck.
Ah,
All right,
dude, they can be
but we
so
can let,
close
like,
and then
one
back down
guild-
again.
If we let like one guild on each side do it.
Nah, because it's too hard to play.
Yeah, because then we the side that has Cho that one
Ask
time
them
is
what
gonna let
happened
Cho do it.
Copium.
And like,
I think
looking
iframe
with that
CTG rules are fine, but like,
I mean, yeah.
if you
even
place
did-
max distance like that, I guess go for it. But
I mean, Barcode didn't use an iframe CTG, but they did a fantastic CTG in comparison to EQ CTG. Guys, I'm gonna rip on you on this one a little bit. EQ CTG when we were home and got shredded. It didn't work. Barcode CTG'd. It took us from 100 to 50 because we weren't home. If our flex wasn't home, it probably would have been a lot worse.
I have to help my
'cause we
dad
were able
move
to open the
500-pound
gate.
stones to the yard
we were
in
able
like
to get a
6
bunch of
hours.
kills, and when we opened the gate, Fate stormed in
Do you
very
think
quickly.
he'll say
thank
it by
fuck,
then?
and helped clear Barcode, letting us live. That was a very good CTG by Barcode. I don't think the CTGs are an iframe. I just think that
All I got for this from this is
utilize them
corrupt
and,
carry
like, an iframe
themselves
CTG
as
just
sole
means you can use it like a
beneficiary,
fucking
and everyone
Neanderthal,
else
and it works.
is slaves
Not having an
working
iframe
for them.
CTG just
Menace
means that
didn't
you
realize that they were solely supposed to do what is the best interest of corrupt instead of playing with what's in front of them, regardless of if it brings value. Fate probably is just following the basic, waiting to do what they were told. Crawling didn't do what they said, and that was the idea in this entire thing. Honestly, I'm so glad I was on Digital's team.
10%, they're home. They're not going
all of
anywhere.
us are still friends.
They're not fucking leaving.
I can't say the same
then
for the
you
enemy
can
team
use it
though.
in other instances, and so like we can't for
Oh, okay.
Digi if they're screening, right? So like let's say EQ is fuck off and nowhere zone, or if Reforge, if we know Reforge is in Castle, and let's say Menace isn't in Castle anymore, Reforge, if Corrupt iframe or if Corrupt CTG's Reforge, right? Because they're trying to screen at Barcode's base, or if they're trying to screen inside Castle, Reforge
I think
dies.
I know what's
don't know,
going
Blue.
on
Do
here.
you feel like a Corrupt CTG inside your base when you're completely gone would kill you
No, I
before
don't
you
think
could get
so.
home?
I don't think so.
Don't think so?
Not
Okay.
with both the watches and the flames burning. Like it's really tough for a guild to do that. Like maybe, but I
Barcode got
really
us
doubt
low.
it. Like, well, I mean, it might work
I
if
think
they
with 80
iframe
people
CTG
thinking a
it.
CTG, you could just because
Yeah,
you body stack and
maybe.
the FT's only gonna CC 10
It's
people.
possible.
So.
Yeah, it's possible.
I mean,
it's
yeah,
possible.
it's for
Okay,
sure.
But I'll be honest
Especially
with
with
you,
siege artifacts and siege resist crystals, it's just you don't take damage from
we're
whole watches, so
really
it just becomes
far.
irrelevant.
Yeah, we're really far from the point here, and it is 3 a.m. So at this point, I don't think the Vipe is ever going to say that Corrupt fucked up, and Reforged definitely played above where they were supposed to.
Pretty sure
But
everybody agrees that we fucked up the CTG. That's not the point
no.
here.
You fucked up way more than the CTG. That's what we're trying to tell you, but you just don't want to listen to it, and that's fine. But Reforged definitely played above where
The
it was supposed
critique
to.
from Menace
Vipe,
is
we've
we
been talking
fucked
about
up the
it for 4 hours.
CTG. Everyone said we fucked up the CTG. What?
Vipe. You're focused on this CTG, and I can't emphasize enough that if you're laser focused on the CTG, you've failed. You've absolutely failed to comprehend that there's more going on in the fight than just the fucking 30-second moment where you actually CTG'd. I know it's impossible for you to fathom that you could possibly have done
we fucked it
anything
up
better.
by getting
There's
Barcode
no
to
way.
10%
There's
and
no
not
way.
CTGing. Yep.
You could never have done anything better. You literally sent fucking Menace to int for like fucking 2 straight hours when they didn't have to. That's what I would, if I was in Menace, I'd be pissed. I'd be super pissed with you because that's 100% on you.
Yo,
Like
I just
that,
want
like-
to know what's the Kool-Aid, bro? Tell me. You got to tell me what the mixture is. Bro.
I
This
know,
shit's crazy,
dude.
I don't
This
know.
shit's crazy. Like you almost have a good mixture, like Pax, bro. This shit's crazy.
I know he's the
Like,
new
almost.
Pax.
He's so good, dude. It's crazy.
Both of you are
like
the
I'll
morons that
I'll
we've been
admit you're
making
right,
fun of
but I
this
want to know
entire
the
time.
mixture, bro. Just send it to me.
All
DM it to me.
right.
He just admitted that I was right. Did everybody hear that? Did we get that?
We can get a little
Can somebody clip
spicy,
that?
but don't get too toxic on this. Come on, everyone. Otherwise, you fuckers aren't going to come back next week. Any last things that aren't fucking super spiced, you goddamn animals?
How many kills did?
All right.
That's crazy.
Forum
We
post
actually had
about
more kills
fixing
than
pegs,
Colin.
please.
That's
Can we
fucking crazy.
get one cross-commer per guild next time?
Yeah, it'd be
One
crazy.
cross-commer per
Honestly,
guild.
most of the time that's the case.
Wait, who was the what
Somebody
happened
had
to
two,
the old
or somebody had
Barcode or
none?
corrupt cross-commer? I actually like
Somebody had 2 or somebody had none.
I don't know. Corrupt had 7. So, but
Corrupt had 3.
But they didn't
3
fuck
or
up.
4. But
Okay.
who was the first one? There was one a while back that was during the Basham's fight. Who was that? That was a good one. I don't remember who it was though.
All right, I love you guys. It's 3 a.m. I gotta bounce out, guys. I
A
love you so
while
much.
back. This was when it was
Later.
like
I can't do it anymore, guys. I just can't. I can't do it anymore. It's been going for 4 hours. They're never gonna admit it. I can't do it. It's just too. It's too much. Oh my god, it's unreal. All right, guys, we're gonna be back tomorrow. We'll be streaming tomorrow afternoon to evening after I finish up with my dad. And then we're going to be back on Monday for Fun Day Monday and Tuesday for the Old Moon podcast. Make sure you guys jump in on the YouTube. We're constantly cranking shorts, guides, fucking VOD reviews, everything on the YouTube. It's absolutely incredible. I'm going to have How to Choose Your Class. The How to Choose Your Class guide series is done. The large scale positioning guides are coming out in this coming week, next few weeks here. I'll be releasing them as a series. So make sure you guys tune in for that. I love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I love you. Is Johnny still streaming? You guys want to go to Johnny? I'll go to Johnny with it. So you guys can keep listening to it. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow.